This chat group administrator really takes things seriously. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 351. Sorry to bother you. The two stood at the door of the sports warehouse and could faintly hear heavy breathing inside. Nomiko lowered her head and thought it was wrong. Jiangnan showed an extremely evil smile, then took out his mobile phone and turned on the recording function. Nomiko immediately grabbed Jiangnan when she saw this scene. Jiangnan, this is not good. Even if they are doing that kind of thing inside, we shouldn't. You don't understand this. I just add a little excitement to their play. Jiangnan sensed what happened inside in an instant. It was not what he imagined. It was just that the two of them tried to open the locked door just now. Because they used too much force, they are now recovering their strength, so they are breathing heavily. It just sounded like something bad through the door. Nomiko looked at Jiangnan with an evil smile, a little at a loss. Jiangnan waited for a while, and then opened the door directly at the most critical moment. Nomiko looked at the situation inside curiously. Then she was stunned. The president, Shirogane Naoki, was pressing on Kaguya Shinomiya. Kaguya Shinomiya closed her eyes, as if waiting for something. The dark environment, the two people alone, the ambiguous atmosphere. Kaguya Shinomiya just fell to the ground, because she didn't see clearly. Shirogane Naoki was forcibly pulled down, and then formed an awkward posture. The two were too close, and Kaguya Shinomiya closed her eyes directly. The excited heart, the trembling hands, the atmosphere was here. Shirogane Naoki also cheered himself up, but at this critical moment, Jiangnan opened the door, and then took pictures crazily with his mobile phone. Kakakaka. The flash flashed crazily. Duck, duck, the young couples nowadays are really exciting. Jiangnan said with a smile. Nomiko covered her face with both hands, but the gaps between her fingers were very large, and she could clearly see what Shirogane Naoki and Kaguya Shinomiya did. This is a misunderstanding. Shirogane Naoki immediately wanted to explain. Really? But I see you guys seem to be enjoying it. Jiangnan flipped out the photo and placed it in front of Shirogane Naoki with a smile. Shirogane, you don't want this photo to be known to everyone in the school, do you? Jiangnan whispered. Shinomiya Kaguya was already too shy at this time. From this angle, she could also see the photo clearly. In the photo, she closed her eyes and looked expectant. Woo 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 woo. Shinomiya Kaguya directly pushed Shirogane Naoki away and hugged Nomiko at the door. Woo woo, I was so scared just now. Nomiko's face was gloomy, and she looked at Shirogane Naoki with a scumbag look. Shinomiya Kaguya was telling the truth. She accidentally fell down just now because she was too scared, and then this misunderstanding was formed. However, Nomiko directly misunderstood the meaning of this sentence. People, scumbags. You can't do this, even if you are a couple. Jiangnan was even more pleased when he heard this. As expected, it was the right decision to bring you here, Nomiko. In the student union office, Shirogane Naoki was explaining to Nomiko what had just happened. But Nomiko said she just didn't believe it. Shirogane Naoki was about to cry, and then looked at Jiangnan who was sitting on the sofa next to him. Jiangnan just smiled at him. What a pity. It's such a good atmosphere, but you reminded me of the Delusion Student Union. It's the same student union, the same ideas, and the same battle site. After explaining again, Nomiko handed the document to Shirogane Naoki again with half belief. After Shirogane Naoki dealt with Nomiko, he looked at Jiangnan. President Jiangnan, no, classmate Jiangnan, what can I do for you? Jiangnan's mouth curled up a smile. The teacher asked me to help the student union, so please take care of me these days. What? Shirogane Naoki broke out in a cold sweat. In his eyes, Jiangnan is a very dangerous person. Although he has outstanding abilities, his personality is very bad. Just like before, we don't need to send more people, and Jiangnan doesn't need to help. Shirogane Naoki said awkwardly. Don't say that. One more person means more strength. Besides, my abilities are obvious to all. Shirogane Yuxing felt that if Jiangnan was in the student union, he would definitely stir up trouble. Inomiko's misunderstanding of him has not been resolved. If Jiangnan comes again, she will not be able to stand it. Inomiko suddenly asked at this time. President Shirogane, why did you call Jiangnan the president just now? Shirogane Yuxing was stunned for a moment, and then explained. That's because Jiangnan is the former president of the student union. Inomiko suddenly looked at Jiangnan with shining eyes. I didn't expect that Jiangnan was the former president of the student union. Jiangnan seemed to see admiration in Inomiko's eyes. It's just so. Anyway, Jiangnan, please. Shirogane Yuxing begged Jiangnan. Jiangnan could only sigh helplessly. He was just a bystander anyway. The school celebration was about to begin. Before the start, the student council members had to give a speech in front of all the students. For someone, this was a challenge. Not everyone could remain calm when being stared at by thousands of eyes. Jiangnan took out his mobile phone to check the time. Everyone walked slowly towards the activity hall. At the back of the activity hall, two girls caught Jiangnan's eye. They were the girl Inomiko who had met in the student council before, and her good friend Daibatsu Kobo. Inomiko gestured with her hand and spoke. I heard that, as long as you write a person on your hand, and eat the person, you won't be nervous in front of people. Daibatsu Kobo said strangely. It's just a psychological effect. It's like seeing everyone in the audience as pumpkins. Oh. See you again, Ai-san. Inomiko slowly raised her head when she heard the voice, and then saw Jiangnan coming. Jiangnan, what are you doing? Aren't you going in yet? For this kind of school anniversary event, student union members must be well prepared in advance. Inomiko, Jiangnan, we are about to go in, but it may be a bit nervous. Jiangnan glanced around, and countless classmates were pouring into the activity hall. Just pretend they don't exist. Think about me. I did that kind of thing when school started, but I still did what I was supposed to do. Inomiko was stunned, seemingly confused, but the girl next to her, Dafo Ziobo, instantly knew the school's influential figure in front of her. Chapter 352, Playing Games. Jiangnan's legend gradually died down because of his frequent skipping of classes. This is also a good thing. Then I wish you good luck, classmate II. Jiangnan turned and entered the activity hall. The school anniversary began, and the student union gave an opening speech. Shinomi Hyakugua took the stage first. As a perfect young lady, she has long been accustomed to such occasions. Facing the expectant eyes of everyone, Shinomi Hyakugua began to talk. First, she congratulated the arrival of the school anniversary, and then said a lot of words hoping that everyone could experience life, and finally made a wave of blessings. Inomiko stood behind everyone with her head down. Even though her current identity is just a supporting role, she did not dare to raise her head and look at the thousands of students in the hall. At this time, Ishigami came to her side. Are you scared? You won't be unable to speak again. Ishigami's tone was very calm, as if he was telling a fact. The moment Inomiko heard this, she went into a state of rage. Ishigami saw this scene and nodded with satisfaction. Diverting attention is undoubtedly the best way to eliminate tension. Like the great teacher, Ishigami doesn't care much about his own situation. If he can sacrifice a little bit of his dignity in exchange for the happiness of others, he will do it without hesitation. You are really annoying. Inomiko gritted her teeth and said, I hope you won't hold me back. Ishigami continued to speak calmly. Then all the student council members came to the stage to give speeches. Ishigami deliberately stood not far from Inomiko. Every time Inomiko was a little nervous, he would use some methods to divert her attention. Ishigami has noticed Inomiko since junior high school. He knows the character of this child, and he also knows that this overly upright character will make her suffer hostility from many people. In the end, the speeches of the student council members ended perfectly. This also means that the school celebration officially began. Amid the applause of the crowd, the student council slowly left the podium. As the meeting ended, the students left the hall in groups of 3 or 5. behind the high platform of the venue. Nomiko patted her chest lightly. Great, I finally finished it. The damn Ishigami actually said that to me at that time. Daibutsuko stood by and shook his head. As a bystander, she saw everything clearly. She also knew everything. What Ishigami you did was to help Nomiko. But this kind of help might be incomprehensible to others. Ishigami you also knew that what he did would be misunderstood, so he left early. As soon as he left the hall, a hand fell on his shoulder. Hey, why are you running so fast? Jiangnan called out to Ishigami you. Ishigami you could only smile awkwardly but politely. Jiangnan, what do you want to talk to me about? Well, if you do that kind of thing, people will hate you. Ishigami you immediately lowered his head and became extremely lost. Sorry, I'm really sorry that someone like me lives in this world. I didn't say you were wrong, and compared to that guy Miyake, you should be called a righteous partner. Jiangnan said with a smile. Ishigami you is not just talking about being a real man, he is really trying hard to change himself. Adolescent boys are very sensitive. Any little thing will leave a deep mark in his heart. Ishigami you once liked a girl, but he almost dropped out of school because of that girl. Jiangnan helped him get out of that shadow and punished the scumbag who hurt the girl. So Ishigami you is actually quite respectful to Jiangnan and a little envious. Envious of this guy who can solve all problems. Ishigami you scratched his head embarrassedly when he heard Jiangnan say that he was a partner of justice. Did you notice? Mizai doesn't seem to be used to speaking in front of people. This kind of activity of giving a speech in front of everyone is obviously a challenge for her. If you don't help her divert her attention, some embarrassing things may happen, which will make Mizai even more afraid to speak in front of people. Jiangnan smiled and explained. Ishigami you sighed. As expected, nothing can be hidden from you, Jiangnan. Okay, Ishigami, enjoy the school anniversary from now on. Even if you are a member of the student union, even if you are a shady guy like you should enjoy your daily life. Sorry, I'm a shady guy. I'm really sorry. Ishigami you and Jiangnan chatted and left here easily. Not far from where they just talked, a girl with glasses stood there quietly. She is Nomiko's good friend, Daibutsu Zyuobo. Jiangnan returned to his class. Then he met the teacher Hiratsuka Shizuka. Isn't this changing? Hiratsuka Shizuka frowned at Jiangnan and asked. Didn't you go to the student union to help? This? Actually, because the student union is so excellent, it doesn't matter whether I help or not, so I came out for a walk. TSK, I thought I had driven you away temporarily. Jing, this is not what a teacher should say to a student. Jiangnan smiled. Hiratsuka Shizuka drank the coffee in her hand. I have never seen a student dare to call the teacher by name. Isn't that what we have seen now? Jiangnan sat on the chair opposite Shizuka Hiratsuka. The school anniversary event of Jiangnan's class was a maid cafe. In this country, maid cafes are an important feature. Seeing familiar female classmates wearing maid uniforms, smiling, and serving a cup of coffee to the guests who came here, Jiangnan felt super fun. The decoration inside the classroom was very warm and obviously a lot of effort was put in. Jiangnan, would you like some coffee? A sunny and gentle voice sounded. Jiangnan turned his head to look at the place where the voice came from. He saw an angel. Totsuka Reika was wearing a blue and white maid uniform. The cute maid uniform looked very harmonious on him. And he looked cuter than most girls in a maid uniform. Give me a cup of sweet coffee. Totsuka Reika nodded and smiled sweetly. Damn, such beautiful and cute boys are only found in the second dimension. Jiangnan thought in his heart, and then seemed to feel something, and turned his head to look. In the corner, a gloomy guy was sitting there. It was Hachiman Hikigaya. Hachiman Hikigaya looked at Totsuka Reika's back, and his cheeks flushed a little. If Totsuka Reika wasn't a boy, these two would probably be together. Chapter 353, Rose Color. After drinking coffee, Jiangnan went to other places to play. When passing by the classics department, he found that there were many people inside. The activity of the classics department during the school anniversary was to sell some classical books. And the person selling books was Oriki Hatarao, who looked listless. Jiangnan looked at Oriki Hatarao, who was chatting and buying and selling things with people. For this energy saving boy, buying and selling things is undoubtedly a very troublesome thing. And there is a pile of books in front of him, which seems to be hundreds of books. Selling hundreds of classical literature books is a very tiring thing for him. Oriki Hatarao would never do such a thing normally. Jiangnan quietly came nearby. After a classmate bought a book, it was his turn. Oriki Hatarao looked at the next person listlessly, and then saw the smiling Jiangnan. Hello, long time no see. Jiangnan waved and said hello. Oriki Hatarao nodded. Long time no see, Jiangnan. Jiangnan pulled a chair over from the side and sat on it, then took a look at the books on the table. How is it? Is the rose-colored life going well? Can all these books be sold? Oriki Hatarao sighed helplessly. Who knows? I originally planned to print only dozens of copies, but ended up printing hundreds more. Is that so? Then I'll buy one too. I'll help you increase sales. Jiangnan took out money from his pocket and put it on the table, then took out a book. Hyalka, the name of this book is Hyalka. Jiangnan flipped through the book in his hand and asked casually. Then again, I didn't expect you to still be passionate. Oriki Hatarao thought of the girl with shining eyes. Every time he couldn't refuse her request. This time, it was the same. Jiangnan said goodbye to Oriki Hatarao after reading the book for a while. He would keep this book well. Next, Jiangnan traveled around and watched a band chorus in the gymnasium. He also watched a drama on the big stage. In the afternoon, I watched anime in the anime club. Jiangnan spent almost all the time during the school anniversary. After playing, it was his normal daily life. Jiangnan calculated the time, and it seemed that he could let new members join. He opened the chat group. Group leader Jiangnan. Hello everyone. Namikaze Minato. Good morning. Group leader. Xiao Ji. Group leader. When can you come to play with me? Group leader Jiangnan. I'll come over when I have time. Xiao Yan. Hello. Group leader. Mingfei. The group leader must be busy. Group leader Jiangnan. I'm going to invite some new people. Jiguanai. There are indeed not many people in the group. It would be good to invite more. Elia. Great. There are new people again. Group leader Jiangnan. Let me see. Who are they? 4 invitations to group members floated into the heavens and the worlds, and 4 group members were randomly selected. There was a response in the chat group soon. Group leader Jiangnan invited 486 to join the chat group. Group leader Jiangnan invited Shidake to join the chat group. Group leader Jiangnan invited Shadow Assassin Key to join the chat group. Group leader Jiangnan invited Dagu Bocheng Tang to join the chat group. A life in another world from scratch. The protagonist, Subaru Natsuki, came to another world with a mobile phone without signal, a bucket of instant noodles and a pack of instant noodles. Looking at this world with the same scenes as the games he usually plays, he feels that he is the man of destiny, commonly known as the protagonist. Although he is indeed the protagonist, it's just that this protagonist is the protagonist of a sadistic comic. When Subaru Natsuki thought he had changed his fate and turned from a stay-at-home to a dragon, reality slapped him in the face again and again. By chance, Subaru Natsuki was rescued by a silver-haired girl. In order to thank her for saving his life, Subaru Natsuki helped the girl find the lost things. Then he was killed by the hunter. In the endless pain of death, Subaru Natsuki returned to the time when his fate turned. After being resurrected, Subaru Natsuki still wanted to help the silver-haired girl who had saved him. Then he was killed again and died. Death is very painful, especially physical torture, which is enough to drive a person crazy. Subaru Natsuki's spirit was a little wrong at this time. And at this moment, a chat box suddenly appeared in front of Subaru Natsuki. Congratulations on your plugin. No. The owner of the All Heavens and Worlds chat group, Jiangnan, invited you to join the chat group. Marvel World. Iron Man Tony Stark. A world-renowned weapons developer, a man who has been gifted since childhood and cursed by knowledge. He built a circuit board at the age of 4, an engine at the age of 6, and graduated from MIT at the age of 17. After that, he inherited Stark Industries and became a weapons developer in the United States, a super rich man, and a playboy. On this day, after Tony demonstrated the latest weapons to the military, he was attacked by robbers. The front vehicle was blown to pieces, and Tony Stark hid behind a rock to ask for help. but a missile suddenly appeared in front of him. The missile was engraved with the label of Stark Industries. This was the weapon he made. Then the missile exploded, and countless shrapnel shot into his chest. Fortunately, he was protected by a bulletproof vest, otherwise he would have died. Before he fainted, Tony Stark heard an electronically synthesized voice. The owner of the chat group of all heavens and worlds, Xiao Yan, invited you to join the chat group. The world of assassin Woolyuki. A loser with pigtails and a blue feathered chicken squatted at the gate of the school to sell beef offal. At this moment, a child came over and said, "Boss, give me a serving of beef offal." Woolyuki jumped up instantly and came to the beef offal stall. "Hey, do you want chili?" "Less." "Okay." Woolyuki pointed with one hand, and a pair of scissors flew up and began to rotate continuously. Using key to control the scissors, Woolyuki operated as fiercely as a tiger and then made a bowl of beef offal. Jidabeo felt very unhappy when he saw this scene. He felt that selling beef offal had no future, so he spoke up. "Woolyuki, let's be assassins." After that, Woolyuki gloriously became an assassin. After losing his memory, Ki, the former shadow assassin, unexpectedly became an assassin again. Jidabeo also prepared secret weapons for him. One is a deformable exploding egg, and the other is a flying chicken. Soon Woolyuki received the first mission, and then he messed it up as expected. At this moment, he suddenly heard an electronic synthesized voice in his ears. Xiao Yan, the owner of the chat group of all heavens and worlds, invites you to join the chat group. Chapter 354. It hurts so much. The world of Ultraman Tiger. The super ancient monster Galzan and the super ancient dragon Melba began to destroy the stone statue of the Giant of Light after waking up. Deko was driving the flying swallow and crashed gloriously while fighting the monster. After all, he and the Xinqiang team members of the Victory team are collectively known as the Crash Duo. Basically, the two of them are bound to crash the flying swallow. After the crash, Deko heard the call of the only remaining stone statue of the Giant of Light. Then he turned into light and awakened Tiger. After that, Ultraman Tiger fought 1 against 2, killed one monster and drove away another monster. After defeating the monster, Tiger disappeared. Then Deko appeared, and at this moment, an electronically synthesized voice appeared in his mind. Xiao Yan, the owner of the All Heavens and Worlds chat group, invited you to join the chat group. Group leader Xiao Yan, newcomers, post photos, newcomers, post photos. Mingfei, welcome newcomers, welcome newcomers. Namikaze Minato, great, there are newcomers joining. Kyo Feng, Kyo meets you all. Bibidang, are there newcomers again? Xiao Yan, it seems that the newcomer is still diving. Big bones boiled into soup, hello, may I ask who you are? Group leader Xiao Yan, we are from other worlds. This chat group connects all the heavens and worlds. If you don't understand, you can take a look at the chat group announcement. I will use the group leader's authority to change your names later. Dagu. Xiao Yan, Ultraman Tiger, gosh, he was my idol when I was a child. I also became light that year. Dagu, you actually know Ultraman Tiger. Xiao Yan, oh my god, it's Ultraman. Mingfei, oh my god, I can actually add Ultraman, that's amazing. Bibidang, what is Ultraman? Mingfei, the Giant of Light, something that weighs hundreds of thousands of tons, was my favorite when I was a kid. Xiao Yan, Ultraman Tiger, I didn't expect to see something I was familiar with before I traveled through time. Woolyuki, what is this? It's so strange. Xiao Yan, a chat group that runs through other worlds. The worlds we are in are different. I wonder what kind of person this newcomer is? Woolyuki, then let me introduce myself. Woolyuki, I'm the assassin Woolyuki, ranked 17,369th on the assassin rankings. I'm best at cutting airbangs, and I've always been loved by the villagers for my high quality service and affordable prices. Xiao Yan, he looks so cool. Mingfei, he looks so powerful. Namikaze Minato, ranked 10,000, what kind of assassin is this? Group leader Xiao Yan, don't underestimate Aki, he's the #1 assassin among the shadow assassins. He's awesome, cool and handsome, and now he looks like a loser. It's actually because he lost his memory. Woolyuki, you know I lost my memory. Group leader Xiao Yan, I know a little bit. Subaru Natsuki, are you my plugin? Great, I knew my ability wouldn't be that simple. Group leader Xiao Yan, Subaru Natsuki? Do you know Emilia? Subaru Natsuki, who is that? I don't know her. Group leader Xiao Yan, what about Satoru? Subaru Natsuki, you know Satoru too. Group leader Xiao Yan, it's really you. By the way, how many times have you died? Is your brain okay? Do you feel crazy? I don't know which line you are on. Subaru Natsuki. Group leader Xiao Yan, every time I see you, I think of a sentence. It's a heart-wrenching sentence from a pure love warrior. Mingfei, it looks like this newcomer is very important. Xiao Yan, Subaru Natsuki, in my opinion, your life is just a coffee table, full of tragedy and tableau. It hurts too much. Your pain is even greater than Mingfei's. Mingfei, is it so painful? Group leader Xiao Yan, let me put it this way, this newcomer, Leiyu Subaru, has been tortured and killed countless times, and has been exhausted physically and mentally by the pain. He has even collapsed countless times in the process. He keeps moving forward in endless pain and torture. His life is full of death, 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 and death. Mingfei, although your life is miserable, at least you have never collapsed. Mingfei, is it so miserable? Group leader Xiao Yan, it is so miserable. Xiao Yan, really miserable? Namikaze Minato, since the group leader said it was miserable, it must be miserable. Mingfei, let us observe a moment of silence for the newcomer. Bibidang, moment of silence. At Tsujikoku Yoriichi, alas. Another miserable person. Leiyu Subaru, I only died twice, is it necessary? Group leader Xiao Yan, haha, this is just the beginning. Saitama, isn't there another newcomer? Group leader Xiao Yan, it's still the Marvel world. Iron Man seems to have fallen into a coma. Mingfei, super rich, super playboy. Group leader Xiao Yan, okay, I'll upload the information of the new members world, so you can take a look. Mingfei, another good movie. Group leader Xiao Yan uploaded the complete works of Assassin Wu Liuqi, all of them. Group leader Xiao Yan uploaded the complete works of Zero Starting Life in Another World, all of them. Group leader Xiao Yan uploaded the Marvel World movies, The Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and a series of big movies. Group leader Xiao Yan uploaded the complete works of Ultraman Tiger. Group leader Xiao Yan, take a look at the announcements. In the group, you can understand the existence of this group, and then take a look at what I uploaded. This is the work derived from your future, and it can also be regarded as your future. Mingfei, let me first see how miserable Leiyu Subaru is. Xiao Yan, the group leader said it was very miserable. I want to take a closer look. Saitama, very miserable? There should be a lot of strong people, right? I seem to have become stronger now, but no one fights with me, and I don't know how strong I am. Elia, Uncle Saitama, you are so powerful. I guess no one can beat you except the group owner. Jotaro Kyujo, there is a newcomer again. Let me see the newly uploaded works. Group owner Xiao Yan, Subaru Natsuki, I'm here to help you. Your enemies are all a group of very perverted guys. Subaru Natsuki, but I haven't seen it yet. Group owner Xiao Yan, let me play first. It's not a big deal. Mingfei, it looks like the group owner is going to have fun again. Chapter 355, Branching World Line. A world of life in another world from scratch. Xiao Yan came here, and the surrounding buildings are a bit like the ancient Western world. The passers-by walking on the road are strange and bizarre. They are not just humans, but also many fantasy species. What a great world. Xiao Yan smiled excitedly. Leiyu Subaru closed the chat group, although he also wanted to see what his future would be like. But his time was very tight. He needed to find the silver-haired girl first, and then tell him not to go to the hut in the slums to meet the hunter. Leiyu Subaru, who had just joined the group, did not know the power of the group leader, and only thought that Xiao Yan was an ordinary person with some strength. After all, vision limits a person's imagination. In addition, Xiao Yan's school uniform was too confusing. Leiyu Subaru felt that Xiao Yan was really just a high school student in an ordinary school. Speaking of which, I haven't introduced myself formally yet. My name is Jiangnan, and I'm an immortal. You can call me the group leader, or you can just call me by my name. Ieyasu Saberu looked at the handsome boy with a smile in front of him. Saberu Natsuki, my name is Saberu Natsuki. 486, let's do something. Coming to another world, we can unload many troubles of the modern world. Let's happily follow our inner thoughts to do something. Jiangnan said loudly. The people around him looked at Jiangnan with strange eyes, but Jiangnan didn't care. After all, for him, who has social bull syndrome, he can stand in the crowd and shout transform into tiger loudly. No need to do something. Jiangnan, you must be very strong. Help me, I was killed by that guy twice, it hurts too much. Saberu Natsuki's right hand subconsciously touched his stomach. His stomach was cut open twice, and the torture and pain were enough to drive a person crazy. Saberu Natsuki is just an ordinary stay-at-home, and he doesn't have a strong will that can't be broken. For such an ordinary person living in modern times, pain is very terrifying. Even a small wound requires going to the hospital, such as a trainee idol, who cried for his parents for a small wound, and was severely scolded by Jackie Chan in the end. Your ability is indeed very powerful, but it doesn't increase your combat power. You should learn swordsmanship from Yuichiro later, so that you can at least have some self-protection power. Jiangnan said lightly. Saberu Natsuki is just an ordinary person. His bones are not very good. It is still difficult for him to embark on the road of cultivation, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, there are plugins to slowly train him. Yuichiro Tsujikoro is now a teacher in a kendo field, and it doesn't matter if there is one more student. Swordsmanship? Is it true? Is it powerful? Of course it's powerful. If you learn it, you can definitely rank in the T0 team in this world in terms of swordsmanship alone. However, this world has a son of another world. That guy has more than 40 blessings, and it is estimated that he can even kill a dragon. What? Saberu Natsuki didn't understand. Now he has just traveled to this world and doesn't know many things. Okay, when you have time later, you can take a look at the Re-Zero starting life in another world that I uploaded. That is your future. I will upload other if timelines later. That is you at different time points. Jiangnan patted Saberu Natsuki's shoulder and said earnestly. Different timelines represent different choices of Saberu Natsuki. Surrender to fate and escape the shameful but useful Ephraim storyline. The lust of line that saves people, but not their hearts. The anger of line that fears human nature and is evil and tyrannical. The gluttony of line that loses memory and seeks self. The arrogance of line that devotes everything for love. At this moment, a middle-aged man with green hair, a headscarf, and a piece of grass in his mouth spoke. By the way, do you want to buy apples? Jiangnan, of course. This is Saberu Natsuki's first save point. He died several times before he passed it, and died even more in the arrogant timeline. He died 80 or 90 times before he completed the perfect ending. Wait, do you have money? Saberu Natsuki suddenly asked. Of course I have it. Jiangnan reached into his pocket and took out the transaction currency of this world. These currencies were taken from some gangsters around. It seems that this guy is rich. The boss took the money with a smile and then weighed a large bag of fruit. After Jiangnan took the fruit, he took one and put it in his mouth. With a light bite, he instantly felt the incomparable sweetness. Compared with the apples in the modern world, the apples here are undoubtedly more delicious and have no additives. 486. 1. Jiangnan picked up an apple and threw it over. Ieyasu Saberu hurriedly caught it. Then he seemed to think of something and spoke anxiously. But Jiangnan, don't we still need to find? Ieyasu Saberu has not finished speaking. A girl wearing a white short skirt and with silver hair passed by on the street next to him. That figure is too unforgettable for Ieyasu Saberu. In the future, he will die countless times to save this girl. In Jiangnan's opinion, it may be a bit too much. Rem's line is not bad. Finally, they got married, had children, and lived happily all their lives. The rest was too miserable. Saberu Natsuki looked at the girl passing by him, his pupils shrank, and then he immediately shouted loudly. Satira. It's over. Jiangnan sighed and shook his head. Satira was called the Witch of Jealousy in this world. She devoured half of the world 400 years ago and was sealed by the dragon. the great sage, and the first generation sword master, because she could not be killed at all. As for why she devoured the world, it was because her own witch factor went out of control and went into a rampage state. She was feared and hated by people, and her name Satira was circulated as a taboo and forbidden to be mentioned in public. After Subaru Natsuki died, the world would be reset to the turning point of fate. Nothing he did would be known to others. When they first met, Emilia did not tell him her real name, but used the pseudonym Satira. Subaru Natsuki did not know all this. After his death, the world was reset, and Emilia returned to the time before this incident happened. Now Subaru Natsuki called out this name to her in public, which was undoubtedly an insult to her. She was disliked because of her silver hair and half-elf physique. But no one had ever insulted her with the name of the Witch of Jealousy, which was just like someone insulting someone with the name Panginian in the modern world. Not surprisingly, Emilia was angry. Subaru Natsuki chased the figure and ran forward. He did not notice that the eyes of the people around him were so strange. Some eyes also fell on Jiangnan. But Jiangnan did not feel anything. After all, how could a person with social compulsion feel when being stared at? Chapter 356. Love is not as fun as making trouble. There was expectation and redemption in the eyes of Subaru Natsuki. He wanted to be recognized for everything he did. But no one knew it, and he couldn't say it. Jiangnan seemed to be able to hear an extremely sad BGM standing there. Please don't let me leave. Your touch, my waiting. No, please don't treat life without love. Subaru Natsuki hurriedly caught up with the silver-haired girl who stopped in front. Please wait, please wait. The girl turned her head slightly. Subaru Natsuki took a deep breath and said, I went to the warehouse before and didn't see you, but you're okay. It's really great, Satella. The silver-haired girl turned around. Her eyes were very sharp, and her purple pupils revealed anger. What do you mean? Subaru Natsuki looked at the anger in the familiar eyes and was stunned for a while. Jiangnan shook his head helplessly and walked forward. It was also his fault that he didn't make it clear at the time. For Subaru Natsuki, he didn't know that Emilia was the real name of the girl in front of him. Leiyu Subaru wanted to say something, but Jiangnan held his head down and bowed. Excuse me, beautiful lady, my friend has a problem with his brain and was talking nonsense for a while. Please forgive me, Jiangnan said with a very apologetic expression on his face. Leiyu Subaru wanted to say something, but he only heard Jiangnan's cold voice. Shut up first. The silver-haired girl frowned, but looked at Leiyu Subaru who bowed and nodded. The anger on her face gradually disappeared, but she still spoke. Next time, please don't call others the jealous witch. The jealous witch is a symbol of taboo. Okay, no problem. Jiangnan quickly promised. If there are no other questions, I will leave first. Then the silver-haired girl left. Okay, my friend has a problem with his brain. He didn't mean it. Let's go. Jiangnan let Leiyu Subaru go, and then slowly dispersed the crowd around him. Let's go to a remote place first. Natsuki Subaru's eyes were full of emptiness and pain. He saw the anger in the eyes of the silver-haired girl just now. He didn't understand. What did he get in return for all he did? A blonde girl in the crowd shuttled back and forth like an elf. She was the thief who stole Emilia's badge. She was also the fifth heir to the kingdom. At this time, she rushed out of the crowd, rushed to Emilia at a very fast speed, and then stole her badge. Emilia stood there in a daze, as if she had not expected this situation. Natsuki Subaru called out the name of the thief in great surprise. Feet is a girl with golden hair. The golden hair was cut casually to a degree that it would not get in the way. Her body was thin due to malnutrition, and her skin lacked blood. Rather than being short, her height was in the process of growth. After Ian had became her guardian, she had a professional haircut and ate some nutritious food, and finally she was able to show a little bit of the quality of a natural beautiful girl. At this time, she was wearing black tights with only one leg open, a red foot scarf tied around her ankle, a red scarf, a bra made of leggings, a brown jacket, and a black headband given by Rom on her short yellow hair. After Firat took the badge, she immediately rushed into the crowd. Emilia touched her pockets and found them empty. As a well-behaved young lady, she had never encountered such a situation. She didn't know how to deal with it. and because Ferret suddenly appeared just now, Subaru Natsuki shouted her name loudly, which made Emilia think that Subaru Natsuki was an accomplice of the thief just now. Did you say that just now to divert my attention? Are you an accomplice of that guy? Jiang Nan sighed, knowing that he couldn't leave. The girl's eyes were very angry. Jiang Nan stood up and spoke at this time. I'm sorry, beautiful lady, because of my friend's careless words, you have suffered losses. Although I don't know what you have lost, I will help you get it back. I can guarantee that my friend will be single for life. He is definitely not the friend of the thief just now. Jiang Nan said this with a solemn oath. Emilia, a young lady who has never known the evil of human nature since childhood, was also frightened for a moment. Really? Of course. Please allow me to help you, beautiful lady. Although Jiang Nan said this, he actually wanted to make trouble crazily. It must be right to follow the protagonist. Ferret's figure gradually disappeared in the distance. Emilia didn't care to say anything else and immediately chased after him. Let's go. Let's chase him too. So the three of them kept chasing on the street. But in the end, they still lost him. Ferret's talent is very good, and Emilia can't catch up with him at all. But for Jiang Nan, it is impossible not to catch up, in the perception of the divine mind. Ferret is in the crowd not far away. He is still secretly laughing at the three people. Damn it. Emilia was very angry, but there was nothing she could do. Lydia, calm down. Just then, a cute little kitten emerged from Emilia's silver hair. Parker. Emilia called out the cat's name. It's you. Subaru Natsuki pointed at the little kitten floating in the air and said, this is a very cute little kitten with grey hair and a cute face. But don't ignore his strength just because he's cute. He is the beast of the end of the permafrost, one of the 6 element, and his true form is a giant beast with golden brilliance, a great spirit in charge of fire. He prepared to destroy the world many times after Emilia's death, and then let the sword Saint Rienard kill him with 2 swords. Subaru Natsuki was also killed by him many times. Oh my, this guy knows me. But I don't seem to remember knowing him. Parker said in a cute way. His voice was very clipped, just like the clips you meet on the internet. That tone is you. Parker, the two of them might be in the same group with that thief. Emilia said angrily with a puffed face. But they don't look like that. Emilia, if they were in the same group, they should have run away now. Jiang Nan took 2 steps forward and said, I'm very sorry, miss. Because of our relationship, your important items were stolen, and you misunderstood us. Mr. Kitty is right. If we were in the same group with the thief just now, we should have left after the thief left. Chapter 357, Investigation. Emilia thought about it, and realized that the two of them really didn't look like thieves. Formally introduce myself. My name is Jiang Nan. I'm the only one in the world who can go up to heaven and down to earth. I'm the best in the world and invincible in this world. I'm a super strong person who can shine with the sun and the moon, with a lifespan, as long as the sky. Jiang Nan posed handsomely. Emilia said that she didn't understand it very well. Parker said with shining eyes. So you are very strong. Of course, I can destroy this world with a wave of my hand. Jiang Nan said with great pride. Then can you catch the thief? Right now. I can't do it now, because this is the choice of Steins Gate. At the turning point of the world's fate, everything has just begun. Jiang Nan said mysteriously. Although there is no concept of Chunibaya in the other world, there are some children who are prone to excessive self-awareness. Especially in this other world where magic exists. Parker has seen many such children, and only thinks that Jiang Nan is one of them. Subaru Natsuki scratched his head embarrassedly. My name is Leyu Subaru. Please give me your advice. Emilia. My name is Emilia. Emilia covered her chest and introduced herself seriously. Leyu Subaru was stunned. Isn't this the name Jiang Nan mentioned in the group before? It turns out that this is her real name. Then Miss Emilia, let us help you find your lost items. Can you describe what you lost? Emilia has gradually dispelled her suspicion of the two people, so she began to describe her lost badge. Leyu Subaru was hesitant to speak, because after being reborn twice, he knew that the badge was in the slums. So that's it. The girl named Firad was born in the slums. Let's go there to look for it. Jiang Nan clapped his hands, with a smile and joy on his face. There you can meet that perverted big sister. It must be fun to see the cute big sister crying with a punch. Jiang Nan thought very badly. At this time, 3 gangsters came over from a distance. Looking at the familiar figures, Jiang Nan remembered who these 3 people were. They were the 3 soldiers that Ieyasu Saberu had encountered in the early stage, but even the 3 soldiers caused Ieyasu Saberu to lose a life. The 3 gangsters were originally planning to rob, but seeing that the 3 people seemed a bit difficult to deal with, they were ready to take a detour. But how could Leslie, who had finally come to the door, let go so easily? Hehe. Jiang Nan suddenly laughed strangely like a supervillain. Then he jumped up in the surprised eyes of everyone. This mountain is opened by me, and this tree is planted by me. If you want to pass through here, leave some money to buy your way through. Jiang Nan stood between the 3 people and said a very handsome robbery jargon. If it weren't for Jiang Nan, Ieyasu Saberu's third life would have been explained in the hands of these 3 gangsters. So in a sense, these 3 gangsters are murderers. Since they are murderers, it is reasonable to extort some money. The 3 hooligans saw that they usually robbed others, so why did someone rob them? So they were ready to take out their knives and do it. Jiang Nan seemed to have expected it, so he immediately pointed to the distance. Look, there's a plane. The 3 hooligans didn't know what a plane was, so they turned their heads subconsciously. To cheat, to attack. Jiang Nan kicked everyone's genitals without any martial ethics. It was a kick in the crotch, a special move for surprise attacks without any martial ethics. So the 3 hooligans lay down and handed over the money. There was no other way. They had just arrived in the alien world and had to make some money to spend. It would be a waste not to rob the god of wealth who came to their door. The 3 hooligans supported each other and stood up, one hand covering their genitals and the other pointing at Jiang Nan and said angrily, "Just wait, I will be back." It was a standard speech of a small villain. After that, he ran away. Emilia and Parker were stunned. They had never seen such a situation before. Jiang Nan looked at the few small coins in his hand. He was really poor. You should know that Felt's reward for stealing Emilia's badge is 10 holy gold coins, which is a very considerable income for a child in the slum. Brother, it's not good for you to do this, Parker said, touching his chin. Jiang Nan nodded. Then he took out 2 coins and put them in Parker's hand. Jiang Nan's operation made everyone stunned again. This way we are accomplices. Emilia frowned, but Parker took the 2 small coins. Brother, you are quite sensible. Emilia shook her head helplessly. Well, can we go find my badge now? Emilia asked. Now it has been delayed for a long time. Of course, but I heard that there are intestine hunters in the slums, so you'd better be careful. Jiang Nan said lightly. The intestine hunter is a wanted criminal who kills without blinking an eye and likes to cut people in half and then pull out their intestines. It is precisely because of this perverted love that the name of the intestine hunter came into being. Will it be dangerous? Emilia said, and then looked at Parker. Don't worry, Emilia, I will protect you. Jiang Nan chuckled. What the hell? Emilia has died so many times under your protection. Jiang Nan, it seems that you are very strong little cat. Of course. Parker was very confident. Jiang Nan, okay then. Let's go. After saying that, Jiang Nan and the other 2 walked towards the slums. After the 3 of them left, a red-haired man in a knight's uniform appeared behind them. The man had a gentle smile on his face, and then slowly followed. Because Saberu had been to the store, where Felt was twice, he came here quickly. The surrounding environment was very dirty, and the abandoned walls were full of stains. This is the slum, and there is a very depressing atmosphere. Saberu looked at the familiar door in front of him. Then he knocked on the door without hesitation. Now he understands his ability, and can go back to the time when his fate turned. He thought of the old man and the girl who died tragically last time, and the extremely perverted hunter. Thinking of this, his hands trembled unconsciously. Don't be afraid. Ieyasu Saberu cheered himself up and then knocked on the door. Is anyone there? Is anyone there? However, there was no movement behind the door. Jiang Nan took 2 steps forward with a smile and raised his foot. Then he kicked the door with a loud bang. Open the door. Open the door. If you don't open the door, I will keep kicking. Jiang Nan spoke very loudly, as if he was shouting. He kept kicking while speaking. After a few seconds, the door opened instantly, and an old man with a height of nearly 2 meters walked out. What are you arguing about? You don't even know the secret code. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 358, Joke. Jiangnan looked at the tall old man in front of him. He was Ferret's family member, Rom. He was one of the few good people in this slum. Hello, Rom. Jiangnan smiled and greeted him. Rom looked at the three people with some caution. Who are you? What do you want to do? How should I put it? Ferret, that little guy, stole a badge from this lady. This is where she often sells stolen goods, so we came here directly. Jiangnan stated his purpose in a very calm tone. Emilia stepped forward and said, that badge is very important to me. I hope she can return it to me. When Rom saw Emilia, he knew that Ferret had gotten into trouble. Emilia was an excellent existence in terms of temperament, clothes, and appearance. Such an existence must be a noble in this world. It is quite troublesome for a commoner to offend a noble and be found by someone. Are you mistaken? Rom laughed and wanted to drive the three people away. Lord Rom, you'd better not drive us away, otherwise there will be a serious accident. Jiangnan said with a smile, but it gave people a very dangerous feeling. He was telling the truth. He had just traveled to the other world of Ryusabaru. After it got dark, he came to this warehouse and saw two corpses. From the beginning, the hunter of the intestines did not intend to let Lord Rom and Ferret go. He even did not intend to let Emilia go. Lord Rom looked at the young man in front of him and wanted to get angry, but those cold eyes seemed to be able to capture people's souls. Lord Rom had only seen this kind of eyes in the eyes of those big men. This boy who looked a little young must have a great background. This may be a misunderstanding. If Ferret comes back, I will definitely ask her to return the badge to you. Lord Rom smiled and welcomed the three people in, and then prayed in his heart that Ferret would come back too early. The three people went directly into this large warehouse, which was filled with various items, including ordinary swords and shields. Emilia looked around curiously. At this time, Parker also ran out. It seems that you are quite capable, brother. Your badge will be recovered soon, Lee. Emilia was very happy, but they were still too naive after all, because the other party wanted their lives. That may not be certain, but I promised Miss Emilia that I would help her get her badge back, and I will definitely do it. Jiangnan seemed to have thought of something, and a very happy smile appeared on his face. Brother, you are smiling so badly. Do you want to do something bad to someone's lovely daughter? Parker floated in the air, pinching his waist and speaking like an old father. How could that be? Miss Emilia is indeed very beautiful, but for me, love is too boring. After having an infinite lifespan, I don't have to worry about leaving genes. Jiangnan slowly began to explain, as if he was telling some scientific truth. Brother, you seem to have learned a lot of crooked theories. Jiangnan, I'm not a fish that escaped the net of 9-year compulsory education. At this time, Grandpa Rom brought over a few cups with brewed tea in them. Have some tea first. I wonder when Ferret will be back. Jiangnan casually looked at the cups of tea. There was nothing strange in them. Although they were cheap, the free stuff was very fragrant. Thank you. Jiangnan picked up a cup of tea very casually. After seeing this scene, Ryusabaru also picked up a cup of tea and drank it all. He was very familiar with this warehouse because he died here twice. He was cut twice by the hunter. Rom sat on a chair, holding a large wooden cup in his hand, which was filled with beer. Then he drank it in one gulp. What a headache. But it seems that those three people are easy to talk to, Rom said to himself. Jiangnan drank the tea in his hand and then looked in a certain direction. When a thief steals something, he usually tries to get rid of it quickly. The same is true for Ferret. She is now rushing here quickly. After a while, someone knocked on the door of the warehouse. Everyone's movements were frozen. Saberu seemed to have thought of a certain scene, and that was also the case when that scary woman came. I'll go open the door. Jiangnan stood up with a smile. Let me do it. Rom also ran over. but Jiang Nan's steps were too fast, and he arrived at the door almost in an instant, and opened the door. The excitement on Ferret's face disappeared the moment he saw Jiang Nan. Unexpectedly. I'm blocking you at your house. You. Ferret didn't know what to say for a moment. Jiang Nan pulled her into the house and closed the door. Now this little thief is trapped. Emilia recognized Ferret the moment she saw her. It's you. Give me my badge back quickly. It's very important to me. Emilia stepped forward and said very seriously. Wait for me. Ferret couldn't help but take 2 steps back. Emilia was imposing. I will never let you escape this time. Damn it, you are such a difficult woman. You are waiting for me here. How did you know I would come here? Jiang Nan raised his hand at this time. I brought her here. Ha. Ferret looked at Jiang Nan, who raised his hand with shock in his eyes. After all, if we are regarded as companions of a thief like you, I will be very distressed. So can you return the things you stole from others? Jiang Nan said very leisurely. Ferret didn't want to return the badge so easily because this badge was worth 10 holy gold coins, which was a considerable income for her. If you don't want to return it to me, then I can only use force. Emilia saw the reluctance in Ferret's eyes, so she raised her hand. Ferret also took out the knife he carried with him. Oh, I like watching girls fight the most. Jiang Nan took out a bucket of popcorn from somewhere and then sat on a chair, watching the 2 girls in the field, as if watching a movie. Ice crystals condensed around the girl. The diamond-shaped ice cone pointed at Ferret, who was holding the dagger. I only have one request. Give me back the badge. I didn't expect this little girl to be so powerful. She doesn't look like an ordinary magician. Rom looked at Ferret worriedly. It's an elf magician. Jiang Nan said. Friends, brothers, readers, book friends. After 12 o'clock, the double monthly ticket activity will begin. The last 3 days, those who have free monthly tickets can vote. I beg for monthly tickets. The Mid-Autumn Festival is coming soon. On behalf of the Moonlight Clan, I wish you double your monthly salary, make a fortune every month, have more than enough every month, live in a Moon Palace level villa, eat diamond level moon cakes, and get a gold card level monthly ticket with unlimited overdraft. Chapter 359, The Willful Me. The atmosphere in the warehouse was a little tense. Jiang Nan looked at Emilia and explained. Miss Emilia, can this prove that the 2 of us are not her companions? We can resolve the misunderstanding between us, and we will help you find this little thief quickly. Can you forgive my friend's previous offense? Emilia looked at Jiang Nan and then nodded seriously. Sorry, I misunderstood you before. Leave the next thing to me. After this matter is over, I will thank you in person. Emilia's personality is still very gentle, and she has the right attitude towards things. Rom seemed to have discovered something at this time and spoke. This lady seems to be a fairy. Emilia closed her eyes slightly when she heard the word fairy. Silver hair, purple pupils, and fairy blood. This is different from other people, so she suffered a lot of people's cold eyes. But even so, she is still strong. No, I'm a half fairy. Ferret seemed to think of something, took 2 steps back very nervously, and spoke. You can't be. Emilia waved her hands immediately. It just happened that she looked similar to that person, and I'm also very confused about this. Natsuki Saberu said in confusion at this time. What do you look like? Didn't you say it before? Satira. In this world, it is a taboo name that must not be mentioned in public. Jiang Nan said with a smile. Natsuki Saberu suddenly felt that his mouth was so cheap. Emilia looked at Natsuki Saberu with anger in her eyes. Obviously, the previous things made her very unhappy. Just when the 2 sides were confronting each other, the door of the warehouse opened unknowingly. I seem to have come at the wrong time. The gentle and sweet voice of the elder sister sounded. The voice was so nice, and it also had a little bit of yandere feeling. Ferret knew at a glance that the buyer had arrived. It was a bit embarrassing at this time. Not only was the owner caught stealing things, but also the buyer. Are you the client? I'm so sorry, I seem to have messed up. Felt said a little embarrassedly. Now her inner thought was to get rid of this troublesome matter. At worst, she would not make the money. However, how could things end here? The beautiful elder sister stepped into the warehouse, her black hair hanging down to her waist, tied up like a braid. She has crystal clear white skin, delicate and beautiful face with a gentle smile, looks very quiet, but once crazy, she is like a pervert. Although her figure is slender, the wide places are still wide. There are several dangerous short knives hidden in the beautiful and revealing dress. It's okay. The next second, the hunter Elsa Granzilt disappeared from the spot. The terrifying and dangerous murderous intent instantly filled the whole place, and the strong and extreme malice. Be careful. Parker defense. Subaru Natsuki shouted loudly. A bayonet behind Emilia, slashed towards her waist. When the blade was about to fall on Emilia, a shield made of ice crystals instantly emerged to block the attack. Seeing that the attack missed, Elsa immediately stepped back. She retreated to a safe distance. How interesting. I haven't abandoned the belly of an elf yet. Parker sat on Emilia's shoulders with his arms folded across his chest. I won't let you hurt my daughter. Subaru Natsuki looked at the familiar figure with fear. There was no mistake, the guy who cut himself in half and watched his body gradually get colder. The intestine hunter, Elsa Granzilt. Hey, what's going on? Fira didn't seem to realize that danger was approaching. You actually brought the owner here with you. Do you think we can still talk business? So I changed my plan and killed all of you. And at this moment, Jiangnan spoke. Hey, don't talk like you're going to let them go. You shouldn't have planned to let everyone involved in this go from the beginning. After all, you are the famous god hunter Elsa Granzilt, with a cruel personality, a seductive appearance, black hair and purple eyes. You are called the gut hunter because you like to cut open the abdomen of the assassination target. Basically, no one you target survives. It seems that little brother seems to know me, Elsa said with a smile, and her blood red lips hooked into a beautiful smile. Sometimes when I have nothing to do, I will also check the wanted list. Your avatar and name are posted on it. Jiangnan spread his hands, indicating that he was also helpless. In that case, I will cut open your belly later, so that you can die slowly. Elsa continued to respond, but the smile on her face became more joyful, and there was a perverted and sickly look in her eyes, as if she had set her sights on her favorite prey. Although I don't want to disturb your extremely perverted interest, what can I say? You can't beat me. Jiangnan stood up and patted the dust off his body. Emilia and Firad were too naive after all. They were far behind Elsa in combat experience. And Elsa also had the ability to resurrect. She also had a half-vampire physique and a strong self-healing ability. If it weren't for Jiangnan, it is estimated that this group of people would have been hacked to death by Elsa in less than 10 rounds. Move aside. The next battle is not something you can participate in. Playing house battles is not suitable for this battle. Emilia and Fira did not have a firm determination to kill each other. Playing house battles and perverted battles are simply incomparable. Jiangnan stretched and stood in front of everyone. Brother, can you do it? Firad said nervously. Don't worry, I'm the strongest, even though the last person who said he was the strongest was cut in half. Before Jiangnan finished speaking, a black shadow rushed towards him, and the short thorn in Elsa's hand instantly chopped towards his stomach. The purple knife flashed, extremely sharp, as if it could cut through everything. Why are you so anxious? I finally waited for the opportunity to play with you, Jiangnan said with a smile, and the previous attack seemed to have not caused any harm to him. Elsa quickly jumped back and hid at a safe distance. It didn't feel like it hit you, but it did hit you. What did you do? Elsa asked. Jiangnan looked at his stomach. Just now, a knife flashed through it, but even his clothes were not damaged. What did you do? Do you want to try it? Elsa, can you reach out and touch me? Jiangnan said, and stretched out his hand. Friends, brothers, readers, and book friends. After 12 o'clock, the double monthly ticket event began. The last 3 days, anyone who has free monthly tickets please vote. I beg for monthly tickets. The Mid-Autumn Festival is coming soon. On behalf of the Moonlight Tribe, I wish you, double your monthly salary, make a fortune every month, make a fortune every month, have more than enough every month, live in a Moon Palace villa, eat diamond level moon cakes, and get a gold card level monthly ticket with unlimited overdraft. Chapter 360, Absolute Ability. Jiangnan shook his palms. It was as if he was not here to fight, but a child playing willfully. Elsa saw joy and happiness in Jiangnan's eyes. How to describe this feeling? It was like a human playing with a bug in his hand. Come on. Come on. Come on. Try it. Anyway, Elsa, you are so perverted. If you don't figure it out, you will be unwilling to give up. Seeing this scene, Elsa showed a perverted and happy smile. Her eyes were red and her cheeks were a little flushed, as if a sickly girl had found her favorite boy. Then I want to see what the little brother is capable of. Elsa stretched out her hand. He could not feel any danger or any murderous intent, because there was no need. When the gap in strength was too huge, murderous intent should not exist. Just like humans breaking the wings of a butterfly. He was just doing this behavior simply, or just thought it was fun. It was impossible to have murderous intent. When Elsa's slender and beautiful hand touched Jiangnan's raised hand, a miracle happened. The hands of the two actually passed through directly. It was as if one of the bodies was fake, a phantom. Elsa's pupils shrank slightly, and then she was excited. What a magical ability. The ability displayed by Jiangnan was exactly the ability of the early pure love boy Obito to virtualize his body, leaving only a phantom in the place. The phantom is both unreal and real. The arms of the two kept passing through, and then the body, until the two passed each other. Elsa passed through Jiangnan's body, as if passing through the air. Everyone who saw this scene was full of surprise. Although this world has the world's protection, which can allow humans to have special talents and abilities, this ability is really unheard of. So, Miss Elsa, do you understand? From the beginning, you didn't cut me. Jiangnan smiled and waved his hand. Then a short knife stabbed directly at him. As expected, the attack passed through his body. Then the next is the second use of Camus. Jiangnan looked at Elsa, and suddenly the space around her began to distort. The moment she sensed the danger, Elsa jumped away. You react really fast. Jiangnan showed a happy smile on his face, and stretched out his hand, as if teasing a bug. Spiral ripples slowly emerged, and then a beautiful and slender arm fell from the air. It was Elsa's arm. Elsa stood in the distance, and one of her arms had disappeared. But the bleeding arm stopped soon, and then began to heal quickly. Well, it turns out that Miss Elsa is not a pure human, but also has vampire blood. But this is better. If the bug dies with a slight pinch, it would be too boring. Jiangnan threw his arm to Elsa, and then watched her easily connect his arm. Little brother, you are really dangerous. Elsa's tongue gently licked her lips. Then he shifted his target to other people. In his eyes, the least threatening person was Subaru Natsuki, who was too ordinary, so ordinary that he could not be found even in the crowd. Elsa exerted a little force on her feet. Her figure flashed quickly, and she raised the short knife in her hand, and stabbed directly at Natsuki Subaru. Really, big sister, you changed your target just at the beginning. You are so fickle. A golden longsword directly pierced through Elsa's heart, and nailed her to the ground. Countless golden longswords appeared in the void, and then fell one by one, piercing every bone connection in Elsa's body. She was nailed to the ground directly, but she was not killed directly. Everyone stared at this scene in a daze. Is this solved? I heard that vampires hate garlic. I wonder if big sister likes it? Jiangnan took out garlic and mustard sauce from the void with a smile. Big sister, you are so beautiful. Don't you look beautiful when you cry? Ah, what do you want to do to me? If you want to get my body, it's not. Before she finished speaking, Jiangnan directly stuffed the peeled garlic into her mouth, and forced her mouth closed. Elsa instantly felt her taste buds bursting, and a spicy feeling continued to spread in her mouth. There was also the extremely unpleasant smell of garlic. The half-vampire physique allowed her to ignore many vampire shortcomings. But shortcomings are shortcomings after all. 3 minutes later, Jiangnan let go of Elsa's mouth, that he had forced shut. Then countless garlic juice and saliva flowed out of her mouth. Big sister, you must hold on. After all, if you really break, there will be no fun. Jiangnan had a perverted smile unique to torturers. Then he squeezed mustard sauce into Elsa's nostrils. The people around were terrified, and they didn't expect that this polite guy would have such a side. Jiangnan seemed to be aware of the gazes of the crowd, so he turned around and showed a harmless smile. There is a saying in our hometown, that is, being kind to the enemy is being cruel to yourself. I just killed the danger in the cradle. It is definitely not, because I saw that this insect has strong vitality and I want to test how tenacious it is. Everyone swallowed their saliva when they saw Jiangnan's harmless smile. Ahem. Elsa's face became very ugly, and even the smile on her face disappeared. The spicy feeling of mustard sauce kept hitting her mind. The vampire's physique made her even more uncomfortable. Little brother, you are really a bad boy. Are you trying to get something out of me by torturing me like this? Big sister, you seem to be mistaken. From the beginning, I just wanted to see how tenacious you, a bug, are you? Have you ever heard a saying? What does it have to do with you to destroy you? Jiangnan made a move, and an iron sword in the warehouse flew into his hand. Then Jiangnan pierced Elsa's head without hesitation. The blood spread to the floor. Sorry old man, I made your floor dirty. Jiangnan stood up and clapped his hands. It's okay, it's okay. Grandpa waved his hands quickly. I'm very sorry, I just had too much fun. By the way, can this little friend return the badge to this lady? Jiangnan said to Firat with a smile. Firat didn't dare to refuse, so she took out the badge she stole. Emilia's badge emitted a red light in Firat's hand. Friends, brothers, readers, book friends. After 12 o'clock, the double monthly ticket activity began. The last 3 days, those who have free monthly tickets can vote. I beg for monthly tickets. The Mid-Autumn Festival is coming soon. On behalf of the Moonlight Clan, I wish you double your monthly salary, make a fortune every month, make a fortune every month, have more than enough every month, live in a Moon Palace level villa, eat diamond level moon cakes, and get a gold card level monthly ticket with unlimited overdraft. Chapter 361, Princess. Emilia didn't seem to notice this. After so many twists and turns, she was finally able to get her badge back. But the twists and turns weren't over yet. Miss Emilia, something interesting seems to have happened. Jiangnan smiled happily. Emilia had already got her badge back by this time. What's the matter? This little friend seems to be a princess who was left outside. Jiangnan said lightly. He was talking to the person hiding nearby. Princess. Yes, with the highly recognizable appearance inherited from the Lugnica royal family, coupled with her age and the shining light on this badge, it can be confirmed that Firat's true identity is actually a member of the previous royal family who was abducted in childhood. Jiangnan looked at Firat and spoke very seriously, and then picked up a steel sword from the ground. Although it's a bit unexpected, it's time to settle the accounts between us. At this moment, Jiangnan actually exuded a maliciousness that was no less than that of the hunter. Little friend, you dare to frame me, so you have to pay the price. Jiangnan raised the steel sword in his hand high. No one expected the sudden change. And Firat couldn't just sit there and wait for death. There were wisps of wind wrapped around her body. This was the protection of the world wind. Stupid. The steel sword in Jiangnan's hand slowly fell, and Firat only felt that the slowly falling steel sword seemed to close all her dodge space. Death came as expected. However, the next second, a sword blocked the steel sword in Jiangnan's hand. I thought you wouldn't be able to come out. Jiangnan smiled at the tall and handsome man in front of him. I'm very sorry, can you please put away your sword? The man said very seriously. He stood in front of Firat. Reinhard. Emilia called out the name of the person who came. The contemporary sword saint, Reinhard. Born in the sword saintistry family, he belongs to the guard knights. As the contemporary sword saint, and possessing the strongest strength in the world, he is also known as the knight among knights, and is a household name in the capital. Later, he became the first knight of Firat, the 42nd candidate for the king's election of Lugnica. He is the only one in the original setting who can compete with the Witch of Jealousy. Sword Saint, Reinhard, come and fight me. Bet on this world or the princess behind you. Jiangnan swung the steel sword in his hand slightly, and instantly slashed out countless attacks. Now he just wants to do what he wants to do willfully. It is commonly known as making trouble, doing what you want to do as you please. It must be interesting to defeat such a kind and powerful knight. Ryan looked at the countless slashes towards him, and he instantly knew that the seemingly young boy in front of him had extremely superb swordsmanship. Jiangnan's attack on Firat just now was obviously not serious, but to lure him out, Reinhard rarely became serious, and an amazing temperament burst out from his body. Facing the attack, he drew out his dragon sword. Dang, dang, dang. The weapons collided with each other, making the sound of steel clashing. Rien had blocked Jiang Nan's attack with his exquisite swordsmanship, but this was just the beginning. Jiang Nan swung the steel sword in his hand casually, and instantly shot out a terrifying sword energy. The sword energy spanned thousands of meters, and Rien had released a terrifying power the moment he felt the danger. Then he was directly knocked out by the sword energy, smashing countless poor houses, and countless dilapidated houses turned back into ruins. Everything happened too fast. Before everyone could react, Rien was knocked out. Okay, everyone, this matter is over. I will treat you well after I kill Rien. Jiang Nan stood in front of the wall that had been knocked open, and the steel sword in his hand turned into fragments. The force just used was too strong, and this sword could not bear it at all. An amazing magic power emerged in the distance. Rien walked out of the ruins, and the smoke and dust did not stain his clothes. Jiang Nan looked from a distance. Rien has the fiery red hair and clear blue eyes that are unique to the bloodline of the Sword Saint. He is tall and slender, and his upright face makes his standing posture look like a painting. His refined manners, words, and deeds are full of kindness for others. But at this moment, he is facing a great enemy. Because just now, the protection on him did not work. The world protection is the unique love of this world for the Son of Destiny. For example, Ferret has a world protection, but this world protection gives her an extraordinary talent. However, Rien has more than 40 kinds of world protections, and can be said to be the super son of the world. These include Sword Saint, Dodge, Drive, First Sight, Telepathy, Empty Hands, Lake, BBQ, Clothing, Phoenix, Game Center, Judgment. One of the protections is that it will never be locked by this kind of attack, and there is also an attack judgment. However, Jiang Nan directly ignored the protection of his world and attacked him directly. Sir, this is the first time we meet, Rien said very seriously. Theoretically, yes. Jiang Nan was not in a hurry, but you seem to have a strong hostility towards me. No, I just want to see how strong the Sword Saint is, and kill you by the way. Jiang Nan said with a smile. The atmosphere became very tense at this point. Emilia asked Lei Yusabaru, "What do you want to do?" Lei Yusabaru was confused. "I don't know." Jiang Nan didn't like to talk too much nonsense before the battle. It was meaningless. Countless dark clouds appeared in the sky at some point. Dragon Transformation Sutra. Jiang Nan used the immortal family's skills, and a divine thought turned into a 1,000-foot-long dragon that kept circling in the air. Dragon species master the natural laws of heaven and earth, thunder and lightning, wind and rain, and natural disasters. The dragon roared over the entire city. The terrifying dragon roar with waves of pressure enveloped the area of thousands of miles. Countless powerful beings sleeping in this world have awakened because of this dragon roar. But for Jiang Nan, they are just ants. You are using the dragon sword, so I will use the dragon sword too. Jiang Nan stretched out his hand, and the majestic head of the giant dragon poked down from the thundercloud, and then the body began to shrink gradually, turning into a stream of light, and landing in Jiang Nan's hand. The light dissipated. It was a giant sword more than 2 meters high with a giant dragon coiled around it, and there were flashes of lightning in the giant sword. The breath of rules kept flowing on it. Go, let's start the battle. The dragon sword in Jiang Nan's hand fell gently, and countless thunders landed on the ground. The natural disaster has come. Heroes. The grandson behind me is only 3 votes short of me, and he is going to anus me. I ask for the monthly votes of the heroes to protect the chrysanthemum. Chapter 362. For world peace. Rien is a hero, but only a hero. The responsibility he carries is very heavy. Come on, defeat me. For world peace. Jiang Nan swung the dragon sword in his hand instantly, and a huge column of lightning rushed directly towards Rien with the power of destroying the world. Don't worry, in order to have a good time with you, I have maintained my strength within the range that this world can bear. Jiang Nan said excitedly. Rien looked at the lightning column rushing towards him with a serious look in his eyes. Behind him were the lights of thousands of houses, and he could not retreat. And the protection on him did not work again. The opponent's long-range attack could not hit him because of the dodged protection. Preemptive protection. Reinhardt will not be attacked by surprise, and his first attack will definitely hit. First sight protection. If the opponent can see the attack, the opponent's first attack will definitely miss, regardless of blind spots or unconsciousness. Second coming protection. If the opponent can see the attack, the opponent's second and subsequent attacks will definitely miss. The sky tears protection. The power will increase when it rains. These protections should have worked, but they did not react to the fierce thunder beam. At this moment, he knew how terrible the enemy in front of him was. Blue light gathered in his hands, and Reinhardt took a step forward and raised his sword. The terrifying magic power gathered on the dragon sword, and the concentrated magic power was like a blooming flower on the sword. Then Reinhardt swung his sword. The thunder beam collided with the powerful sword skills. A beam of light broke through the thundercloud and pointed straight to the sky, but in less than a second, the thundercloud filled the gap that had just been broken. Thunderclouds filled the sky, and countless thunderbolts fell again. Rain began to fall slowly. Fighting in the rain was very exciting. A figure moved quickly in the rain, and the raindrops on his body automatically bounced off, forming one broken phantom after another, just like a human figure made of water. Jiang Nan slashed directly at Reinhardt with the dragon sword in his hand. Reinhardt also swung his sword. Bang! The terrifying airwave kept echoing around, destroying everything around. The swordsmanship competition began at this moment. The dragon sword in Jiang Nan's hand was very huge, but it seemed to have no weight in his hand. This was a realm of swordsmanship, lifting heavy things with ease. No matter how heavy the sword was, it was like nothing in his hand. Bang 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 bang. The two swords collided with each other and made a sound like thunder. Countless thunderbolts fell from the sky, as if applauding the battle between the two. Reinhardt, without the protection, you are weaker than I thought. Jiang Nan's wrist trembled slightly, and he displayed an extremely exquisite swordsmanship, which was not a skill that humans could perform. It was a swordsmanship that had reached the realm of God. Secret sword, 1,000 slashes and swallow return. Thousands of attacks fell at the same time, as if time stopped at this moment, and countless attacks staggered time and fell at the same time. Facing the attacks that came at the same time, Reinhardt felt like he was facing a siege of thousands of people. The dragon sword in his hand burst out with dazzling light, soaring into the sky, and terrifying magic power was shooting around. This was a large-scale attack, enough to destroy everything around. Block these thousands of simultaneous attacks. Not enough, Reinhardt. The dragon sword in Jiang Nan's hand fell again, and the terrifying power instantly split all of Reinhardt's magic. The remaining power of the sword light did not diminish, and it directly pierced Reinhardt's body. He was injured, and the protection on his body did not work again. But Reinhardt could feel that some protections were still useful. For example, the sword saint's blessing can kill things that cannot be killed, and can use the dragon sword red to maximize the power of the sword. After understanding this, Reinhardt held the sword in front of him with both hands, and took a sword attack posture. Sorry, I was too arrogant before. It seems that I have to use all my strength. Let me see how terrifying the sword skills passed down by the Estria Sword Saint family are. The rain seemed to be getting heavier. The hazy rain blocked the vision of many people. Eyes are an important organ of the human body and an important weapon for capturing attacks. On rainy days, many attacks will become less sharp than before because of the cover of the rain curtain. But obviously this little rain can't hinder the attacks of the two. The battle started again. Jiang Nan had a pleasant smile on his face. Sure enough, making trouble is the most fun. In the world of other group members, it is more or less embarrassing to mess around like this. But in this world, it's okay. Even if the world is destroyed by accident, just kill Saberu Natsuki. Anyway, everything can start over again. At worst, Jiang Nan could just act faster and not let Leiyu Saberu feel any pain. Jiang Nan could still do this level of attack. So, be willful and do what you want. The two figures disappeared from the rain curtain at the same time. Because it was too fast. So fast that it was difficult for people to catch any traces. Everyone standing in the distance watching this battle was terrified, because at this moment both sides showed their true strength. Reinhardt has the ability to rival the Witch of Jealousy who destroyed half of the world. The terrifying magic power is no longer restrained. Speed is equal to strength, and the two people's slashes collided with each other under the rapid blessing. Then quickly dodged, continued to accelerate, and the rapid attacks continued. The attack wave generated by the attack even cut through the entire rain curtain. Drawing a knife to cut off the water flows more, and a gap was cut in the dark clouds in the sky. At this moment, everyone felt how powerful the real strong man is. They also felt the terrifying power of the Imperial Sword Saint Reinhardt. Lightning, descend. Jiang Nan raised his sword with both hands and pointed it at the sky. Countless thunder clouds gathered here, and countless thunders were rioting. When Reinhardt saw this scene, he knew that the other party was going to use a big move. He could feel the power of this sword. So, he was also ready to use a big move. The physique of the Sword Saint family automatically convert magic power into physical strengthening. Unable to use magic, but with extremely strong physical ability. The terrifying magic power gathered on the body. The dragon sword red exuded a dazzling light, which was more dazzling than any other time. Even the surrounding rain automatically bypassed it. The two terrifying forces attracted more people. In fact, I don't like to use the power of nature, but there is no way, because if I use this power directly, it may destroy the whole world in an instant. Jiang Nan used both hands to swing the dragon sword in his hand. Thunder filled the air, and Wuxiang cut with a knife. Dear, today the female dog that I have raised for 3 years in my family eloped with a wild dog. I feel sad and want to cry. Now only your monthly ticket can bring me comfort. Chapter 363, The World Cries. When the comprehension of the Tao reaches the extreme, you will find that all the great ways are actually the same. If you understand one law, you will understand all laws. When you reach the root of all laws, you can use all the power derived from the root. For example, Gojo Satoru's unlimited power, or Accelerator's vector operation. When you understand the great way of heaven and earth, you can understand all the power and ability contained in the great way of heaven and earth. The same is true when martial arts are practiced to the extreme. The original meaning of Daluo contains everything. Jiang Nan happened to have the power of Daluo. He practiced martial arts to the extreme and reached the Wuxiang sword created by the realm of God. He knew it, so he knew it. This is the martial arts of the original god, the thunder god of Tivat continent, a powerful sword that can directly change the world. At this moment, he used it easily. Endless lightning filled the world. The world seemed to be split by this sword. The sky and the earth changed color, the sun and the moon lost their light, the universe turned upside down, and an endless thunder abyss spanned half the world. The entire kingdom was split in half from this moment on. Countless thunders filled the abyss, and the water flowing here also contained the power of thunder. The canyon that Thunder God had cut out became inaccessible because of this powerful force. As long as you enter it, you will start to lose blood. Reinhardt is dead. The attack he launched only slightly blocked the sword of Wuxiang. The gap between the two is too big. Even if Jiang Nan has restrained too much in order not to destroy the world, it is still not something Reinhardt can resist. However, although Reinhardt is dead, he is not completely dead, because he has a kind of immortal protection. The Phoenix's protection can be resurrected once. If used, you can obtain continued Phoenix's protection. In other words, the protection can ensure Reinhardt's unlimited resurrection. Jiang Nan did not prohibit this protection, and at this moment, the world suddenly began to shake. After Reinhardt was resurrected, he looked at the Thunder Canyon that ran through half of the world, and his face was very ugly. How many people will die because of this knife? There is no way to know. What on earth did you do? What do you think of human life? Reinhardt was really angry. Well, buns. Dio's buns. Jiang Nan thought for a moment and said lightly. Countless lives were destroyed because of that casual blow just now. Reinhardt is a hero and he cannot retreat, but it is also the hero who binds him. The thunder fell and turned into endless war. The terrifying cracks seemed to bring an unparalleled earthquake to this world. The earth turned, the thunder rolled, and the rain turned into a flood that submerged everything. So that's it. Did you feel it? In this case, for the sake of world peace, come and kill me. Jiang Nan spread his hands. He just felt so willful that he was so cool. No wonder the motherland dared to stand on the rooftop to perform the crescent sky rush. Do whatever you want. The free motherland. It's a pity that Xiao Yan is not so perverted. Rian had stepped forward, and the dragon sword in his hand condensed extremely powerful magic. The dragon sword fell, and the blue magic power turned into a huge energy and poured out instantly. The terrifying explosion rose into the sky and turned into a mushroom cloud. Everything around was swept up in it. Emilia clasped her hands together. Although they were only affected, they would die if they did not defend themselves. The huge ice crystal formed a house to protect everyone inside. At this time, Subaru Natsuki opened the chat group. Subaru Natsuki, help, help. The group leader is going crazy. He's going to destroy the world. Mingfei, fuck, did the group leader really do that? Minato Namikaze, the group leader must have his reasons for doing that. Saitama, there's some truth, but not much. Subaru Natsuki, brothers, big brothers, is there anyone who can stop him? Xiao Yan, sorry, I can't beat him. Yuchi Tsujikoku, although the group leader is a little willful, he probably won't do anything he's not sure of, don't worry. Mingfei, that's right, that's right. Although the group leader likes to stir up trouble and is a little willful, it doesn't matter, he's strong enough. Even if he destroys the world, he can save you. Subaru Natsuki, I'm even more scared. Wulioki, destroying the world, is the group leader the supervillain that is often played in TV dramas? Tony Stark, it hurts. Damn it, what happened destroyed the world? What is that? Is it a new type of weapon? Bibidang, it looks like the new member has woken up. Leyu Subaru, let me talk about my business first. Mingfei, you don't need to do anything, just trust the group leader. Leyu Subaru, oh. Facing the fierce attack, Xiao Yan once again swung the sword in his hand, and the terrifying sword energy rushed into the sky, annihilating everything. The sword energy spans 30,000 miles, and the sword light chills the 19 continents. At this moment, the space was shattered, and everything was cut open by this sword. Almost in an instant, Rian had died again. The sword light continued, cutting off everything along the way. The clouds in the sky were forcibly separated, and the ground was cut in half, pointing directly to the center of the earth. The surrounding space was forcibly cut open, just like a broken mirror. It was put together, but there was a crack. The cut space is the sharpest attack in the world, and no object can stop this attack that can cut through space. Crack. The sound of the mirror breaking was heard. No, it was the sound of space breaking. Because the sword light's attack was too fast this time, the destruction was delayed for a few seconds before it appeared. The cut space slid slowly and staggered each other. If you can keep adjusting your perspective upwards and look down on the world from a god's perspective, you will find that the whole world has been cut. Xiao Yan accidentally used a little more force to cut the whole world. The world is going to be destroyed. But just like the Titanic, even if it is destroyed, there is a little buffer time. After Ian had came back to life, he felt an extremely painful feeling. He felt that the world was crying, destroying, and dying. When the Witch of Jealousy destroyed half of the world also had this emotion. But the Witch of Jealousy was sealed by the hero in a crystal in an unknown corner. Although some people predicted that the end of the world would come when she woke up again, no one expected that it would be someone else who brought about the end of the world. Oh, I accidentally played too much. Xiao Yan rubbed his head. But it doesn't matter, anyway, there is still Subaru Natsuki. I beg for some monthly tickets. Open bracket close bracket. Chapter 364. Surprise. The world is about to be destroyed. All powerful beings can sense this crisis, which is more terrifying than the last time, when the witch devoured half of the world. Xiao Yan ignored the resurrected Rianhead, but turned and walked towards the warehouse in the slums. One step, and you are there in an instant. One step, or 1,000 miles, just a few feet away. Xiao Yan, resurrected again. Although I don't think so, I just killed you like this. In the darkness, Elsa licked the corners of her mouth, her eyes full of madness. Because she felt the madness and destruction of the world. This feeling was simply refreshing to her. Little brother, you are really pleasant. No one has ever made me so happy. It's so interesting, so crazy. Can you let me kill you before I die? Elsa suddenly rushed towards Xiao Yan. The side dishes before the big meal had been eaten long ago, and Xiao Yan didn't want to eat now, So he waved his hand lightly, and a giant hand of nothingness came out of the void and directly crushed Elsa into pieces. Everyone in the warehouse looked terrified. Jiangnan ignored everyone and came to Natsuki Sabaru. Natsuki Sabaru subconsciously took 2 steps back, with a little fear in his eyes. Are you serious about taking those 2 steps back? I'm so heartbroken. Jiangnan covered his chest and said very sadly, "Group leader, you are too cruel, I can't stand it." Natsuki Sabaru waved his hands and said, "The elegy of destruction is still singing. Reinhard no longer wants to defeat Jiangnan. The most important thing now is to save the world. Natsuki Sabaru, do you want to be the savior?" Natsuki Sabaru has not yet realized the power of his return from death, returning to the node of fate, and turning everything that has happened into nothingness. Natsuki Sabaru's face is full of question marks. Now he only simply knows his ability, but has not explored his ability too much. There are still many things he doesn't know. The next second, a cold light flashed. I don't know when the sword in Jiangnan's hand was stained with blood. Sabaru Natsuki suddenly felt the world turned upside down. He saw his body, a body without a head. He was smiling just now, but now he was chopped off. Jiangnan said with a smile. Surprise. Aren't you friends? Why? Emilia said at a loss at this time. To save the world. Don't worry, my friend won't blame me, because he is a super nice guy. Jiangnan showed a carefree smile, like a sunny boy. Time stopped at this moment. The gears of fate began to reverse. Sabaru Natsuki stood on the busy street, his pupils empty, as if he had not come back to his senses. Brother, do you want an apple? A familiar voice sounded, and the green-haired boss held the apple in front of Sabaru Natsuki. The sun was shining, and everything was full of vitality. There was no sign of thunderclouds and the destruction of the world before. Time flowed back again, and fate returned to its turning point. Back again. Sabaru Natsuki whispered to himself. Boss, some apples. Jiangnan walked out from behind Leiyu Sabaru and bought a large bag of apples skillfully. Leiyu Sabaru subconsciously touched his neck. Jiangnan walked over and saw this scene and said with a smile. Don't worry, my sword is very fast. Come and have an apple. Jiangnan handed over an apple. Leiyu Sabaru took 2 steps back in fear. You. Calm down. In a sense, you saved the world, didn't you? Jiangnan took 2 steps forward. Although what he said was true, this achievement was destined to be unknown to everyone. But you killed me, and you killed so many people, and you destroyed the world. Jiangnan looked around. There were people coming and going, and the traffic was busy. It was extremely peaceful. Who did I kill? Which world did I destroy? No one died around me. This world is still so good, don't frame me. After all, the gears of fate have been reversed, and the future that has been cut off does not exist. Sabaru Natsuki looked around blankly, but didn't know how to refute, because for this world, those things have not happened at this point in time. But Sabaru Natsuki witnessed the end and sorrow of this world. Let's talk about it, we may have some misunderstandings. Jiangnan pointed to the steps next to him and said, is this my ability? I can reload the save file like in the game, but I can only reload the save file after death. Death is too painful. Sabaru Natsuki covered his head. Then you can give up. Sabaru, you are just an ordinary person. It is not shameful to escape. I also met an ordinary person who worked hard in the world of Type Moon before. He wanted to save a girl like you, even if the girl was already broken. But he is just an ordinary person after all. All his efforts, even his mental breakdown in the end, are just a pleasant toy in the eyes of those perverts. So sometimes it is not shameful to escape. Jiangnan thought of Sakura and Matao Kariya. The power of ordinary people is sometimes too weak. They don't even have the ability to protect their important people. Although Sabaru Natsuki is lucky to have the ability to return from death, this ability is not good luck for him. In countless deaths and physical tortures, his mental breakdown has been countless times. So in Jiangnan's opinion, it is not shameful for Sabaru Natsuki to escape. Going the lazy, if line is also a good choice. Sabaru Natsuki was silent for a long time, and then cheered up. Group leader, I won't give up so easily. At least I have to save Emilia first, because she helped me first. Natsuki Subaru stood up and said loudly with a certain determination. You are worthy of being the hero of the other world, but the path you choose to take is very painful. Although the ability to rewind after death can achieve a perfect ending by committing suicide, this is not a game after all. Although theoretically you can rewind infinitely, your spirit can't bear so many deaths. I'm ready. Natsuki Subaru's eyes revealed an indescribable seriousness. At this moment, Natsuki Subaru had a clear understanding of himself. Well, let's pass the level perfectly. Jiangnan's mouth curled up into a happy smile. It was still early, and Natsuki Subaru sat on the steps and looked at his future for a while, saw his painful future, and saw himself die again and again. Even if it was just across the screen, Natsuki Subaru could feel the pain in his body. This is the future you are going to take, Jiangnan said leisurely. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 365, Perfect Ending. Subaru Natsuki's ability can be said to have turned the entire world into a game. You can repeat it endlessly until you reach the most perfect ending. But this process may be too painful. After all, the difference between games and reality is still quite large. When Subaru Natsuki saw that the hunter, who he had tried so hard to kill, was beaten away by the sword Saint Rienhead with a flat attack, he felt particularly upset. But then he thought about how Jiangnan had beaten Rienhead to death before, and it seemed that his mentality was not so explosive. And Rienhead is indeed a knight among good knights, a real hero. Compared to Subaru Natsuki, this guy's more like a protagonist. Do you want to take a look at the "if" line that died more than 80 times at the beginning? I believe that after reading it, your mentality will be even more explosive. Because no matter how many times you die, you have never defeated Rienhead head on. This guy is a hurdle that is stuck to you, and you can never get over it, Jiangnan said jokingly. Don't talk about it, group leader. I want to be a good person, and be a good person for the rest of my life. Subaru Natsuki said he was so tired. People who traveled through different worlds were all against the heavens, the earth, and the gods, but why was he so miserable? After reading the first half, Subaru Natsuki temporarily closed the chat group. There will be plenty of time to watch after saving Emilia. The way to achieve a perfect ending is very simple, that is, to find the sword Saint Rienhead, or Jiangnan directly kill the hunter. This time, Jiangnan said that he wanted to be a good person. Of course, if he didn't do well, Subaru Natsuki would have to work a little harder and start over again. The gears of fate slowly turned, which was the choice of Destiny's Gate. The two walked on the street, and a tall, handsome red-haired knight walked past them. At this moment, the two stopped. It was the sword Saint Rienhead. What a coincidence. It seemed that it was the fate arranged by the world, and it seemed that the world sensed the danger and strangled everything in the cradle in advance. Rienhead also stopped because he sensed danger. Time seemed to stand still at this moment, and both sides stopped. People were still coming and going around, and Rienhead stood straight in his white knight's uniform. There was a light in his eyes. The divine protection of judgment, the divine protection that can know others. Jiangnan sensed the exploration, so he directly connected to the root and truth of the world, and rewrote some things. Rienhead. Jiangnan turned around and called out the name of the sword saint. Rienhead also saw the divine protection on Jiangnan. Omniscience and foreknowledge, the ability to predict what will happen in the future and see what has happened in the past. This is a divine protection he has never seen before. Although this divine protection does not increase the attack power, if it can be used well, it is more powerful than many powerful attack divine protections, and for a kingdom, this ability is really too important. It's our first meeting. It's an honor to meet you too. Humility is the courtesy and etiquette that every serious knight must learn. Rienhead was extremely modest. He didn't think his achievements were worth showing off. Mr. Rienhead, are you interested in doing me a favor? How about I give you the information you want as a reward? Rienhead was slightly stunned. Then he thought of something and said, if you are asking for help, you don't need to be paid. No, 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 for me, equal exchange is the principle. Jiang Nan smiled mysteriously and continued to speak. I wonder if Mr. Ianhood is interested in the assassins and hunters of the Northern Kingdom? Today he will assassinate Emilia, the elf magician, the beautiful lady with silver hair. Rianhood was surprised when he heard Jiang Nan say this, but then he regained his composure. Is it to predict the future? Of course, as a reward, my information is about the princess of the Lugnica royal family who was lost more than 10 years ago. I wonder if the swordsman is willing? Rianhood was shocked again when he heard about the princess of the royal family who was lost outside. He belongs to the royal guard knights. If the lost princess really appears, he will support her to become the heir of the kingdom. You didn't lie to me. How could it be? After all, the future I saw is like this. Jiang Nan had a smile on his face. Rianhood nodded. For him, he would not lose anything by believing what this person said, and the appearance of the hunter of the intestines alone was enough for him to have a reason to draw his sword. By the way, this is the first time we meet. Jiang Nan, my name is. Jiang Nan began to introduce himself. Natsuki Saberu next to him seemed a little nervous. After all, the person standing in front of him was the ceiling of the world's military power, a hurdle he could never cross. Mr. Ianhood, Natsuki Sabaru, my name is Natsuki Sabaru, please give me your guidance. After exchanging names, they were considered friends. Rianhood smiled gently and modestly. No need to use honorifics, Sabaru, Jiangnan, we have exchanged names and we are friends. Jiangnan felt Rianhood's enthusiasm. Even though what he said before was very thrilling, he was not in a hurry at the moment. Of course, I love making friends the most. Jiangnan said with a smile, not taking the fact that he had killed someone twice before to heart. Rianhood also laughed. Whether it was the ability to predict the future, Emilia, Elsa, or the princess, they were all very important things. It seemed that he would not be able to rest during this holiday. By the way, looking at your hair color, pupils, and clothes, they are all very rare, and your names, are you from another place? How should I put it? We are indeed not from here, and our hometown is very far away. I will go back in a few days, and Saberu Natsuki may settle here. Saberu Natsuki nodded. That's right, I can't seem to go back now. Rianhood did not ask any more questions, but asked the key question. I wonder if you can tell me in detail what you said before. Of course, the gut hunter will face Emilia in a warehouse in the slums when it's getting dark. Jiangnan only gave some simple general information, but it also allowed Rianhood to understand the whole story. Then let's go now. Jiangnan shook his head with a mysterious smile on his face. Don't worry, the fish hasn't been hooked yet. If you accidentally scare the fish away, it won't be fun. Rianhood smiled when he heard this. The gut hunter? Indeed, it would be a headache if she escaped. After all, she has committed several crimes in the capital. Chapter 366. The protagonist appears. The sky gradually darkened. Without the burden of Saberu Natsuki, Emilia quickly found Ferret. Just as the two sides were confronting each other in the warehouse, the hunter appeared. Without the intervention of the crowd, this is a normal future process. The hunter showed her cruel killing ability. She enjoyed the battle, even if she was injured and in pain. Just when the hunter's attack was about to succeed, the roof of the warehouse suddenly shattered, and 3 figures jumped down from it. Only 3 figures could be vaguely seen in the smoke. The dim light shone through the hole. At this moment, the protagonist appeared. BGM sounded at this time. Auntie, press it. The intense music set off the important characters who appeared. The smoke and dust dissipated, and Rian had stood in the middle, with Saberu Natsuki and Jiangnan standing on both sides. After seeing the arrival of the people, everyone was shocked. What was even more shocking was that the famous Rian was surprised to accompany 2 strangers, as if playing role-playing. I'm coming. Rianhood's whole body was full of energy, and he directly dispersed the smoke. Elsa licked her lips, her eyes shining. Then Jiangnan and Natsuki Saberu changed their positions again. The protagonist always appears last. Surrender for justice. Jiangnan pointed at Elsa. Isn't it ridiculous to surrender? Natsuki Saberu looked at Emilia on the side. Emilia was a little dusty, obviously after a battle. Black clothes, unique hair color, and that special weapon. That's right, you are the assassin of the North Country, and you have been making the whole king restless recently. Rien had said lightly, without the slightest fear. Contemporary sword saint, Rien had, it seems that you have met a big shot this time. I wonder if it would be more interesting to cut your stomach open. The battle was about to break out. Elsa rushed towards Rienhad in an instant with a bayonet in hand, and a strong wind suddenly came out of Rienhad's body. Protection. The enemy's first attack will definitely miss, while your own attack will definitely hit, and you will definitely take the initiative. Rienhad has possessed an incredible amount of protection since he was born, but not everyone can ignore his world protection like Jiangnan. After Rienhad knocked Elsa away, a figure appeared behind her. Big sister, be careful behind you, otherwise you will die. A long sword pierced her heart. A sneak attack, not martial ethics. Elsa looked at Jiangnan in disbelief. She didn't even feel the hidden breath of the opponent, and there was no killing intention at all. How could there be killing intention? Jiangnan just pinched an ant to death. Plop. Elsa fell to the ground. If she were a normal person, she would have died at this moment. But Elsa was not. Death was not the end for her. Jiangnan waved his hand lightly, and several iron swords flew directly over, and then pierced into Elsa's body, nailing it to the ground. After doing all this, Jiangnan looked at everyone, and everyone's eyes were puzzled. Didn't I say that? Everyone was confused. Sorry, my power allows me to observe the future and the past at will, so I got lost in this world line. I have already said it in other world lines, but there is no way. After all, this thing didn't happen to you. Jiangnan's words were confusing, and only Rian had seemed to understand a little. What are you talking about? Firat said. Nothing, just introduce this guy a little bit. Jiangnan looked at Elsa on the ground and spoke slowly. Elsa Grandsilt, 23 years old, female, 1.68 meters tall, a fan of the 9-turn large intestine, a hybrid of human and vampire, with a half-vampire physique, was born in the northern country of Gustico, a land that is so cold that even the breath you exhale will be frozen. Little brother, you seem to know a lot. Elsa, who should have been dead, suddenly raised her head and spoke, but because there were too many swords stuck in her body, nailing her to the ground, she couldn't get up at all. Jiangnan said with a smile, I just saw it, so continue. On a certain day of a certain month of a certain year, a very biting strong wind suddenly blew, and invaded the whole town. That day Elsa went to steal as usual, but was caught by the owner of this shop. The man was lustful, and stripped Elsa's clothes crazily. The young girl didn't have any thoughts about that at the time, but because she took off her clothes layer by layer, she felt colder and colder. Instinctively, she picked up a piece of glass and pushed it towards the owner's abdomen, and finally cut it open. I didn't feel anything, whether it was the man's cry or the emotion of taking someone's life. I just thought about it in the cold wind. The blood and internal organs. How warm, Jiangnan narrated in a very calm tone, as if he was watching all this happen next to him. Even Elsa was surprised, because she had never told anyone about these things. Not long after that, Elsa was spotted by an assassination organization in the north. Being an assassin would allow her to see her favorite intestines again, so the wandering Elsa joined the organization. After joining the organization, Elsa was cast a spell called Cursed Doll. This spell can control people's minds and make the person who is casted resurrect on the spot, no matter how he dies, before completing the task, but the person who is cast will die immediately after completing the task. However, due to Elsa's physique, the spell and vampire physique are combined to become vampire protection. Not only is the mind not controlled, but it can also be resurrected after death. Jiangnan finished telling everything. Elsa didn't expect that this seemingly young boy in front of her could actually pull out her pants. What kind of ability is this? Too scary. You. What kind of ability do you have? Is this what you want to say? Jiangnan said with a smile, and directly said what Elsa originally wanted to say. It seems that you are the dulling of the world again, which is really annoying. Jiangnan once again said what Elsa wanted to say in advance. Predicting the future, seeing the past, hahaha, I see. It seems that I have been walking in the destiny you arranged from the very beginning. Elsa stated the ability that Jiangnan possessed, and also expressed the doubts in the hearts of everyone present. The threads of fate are constantly intertwined. This is a big net. No one can escape, just like no character created by the author can escape the author's control. Jiangnan said slowly. Chapter 367. Time Anchor. The story ended at this moment. When Firot returned the badge to Emilia, Rienhard instantly saw the reddish light shining in the center of the badge. It's you. Rienhard grabbed Firot's hand. Rienhard, the deal between us ends here, Jiangnan said with a smile. Rienhard nodded. After saying hello, he took Firot and Elsa away. Looking at their backs as they left, Emilia took 2 steps forward to thank Jiangnan and Subaru Natsuki. Thank you very much. Without your help, I might not be able to get my things back so easily. Subaru Natsuki scratched his head very embarrassedly. It's okay, it's okay. In order to thank the two for saving her life, Emilia wanted to invite them to visit Russell's mansion. The next difficult level dungeon is open. Subaru Natsuki has the aura of a witch, and it is estimated that he will be beaten to death by Rem. And Roswell Elmesis is not someone to be trifled with. Subaru Natsuki was broken down several times by him. Jiangnan suddenly patted Subaru Natsuki on the shoulder. 486. Why don't you leave this world first? Wait until you become stronger before going through the next dungeon. Subaru Natsuki had a question mark on his face. What? The next dungeon is more difficult. I suggest you learn some basic martial arts from Uchi before going through this dungeon. There will be a more difficult sanctuary dungeon later. Jiangnan spoke seriously. Subaru Natsuki couldn't help but think of the times he died before. But what about here? This is easy. I will set a time anchor point here. When you come back, you will continue to move forward from this anchor point. As long as you have this anchor point, no matter how much time has passed in other worlds, as long as you come back here, you will start from this anchor point. For this world, your disappearance is just a moment. Subaru Natsuki thought for a while, then nodded. Okay. Jiangnan waved his hand lightly and set an anchor point directly in the long river of time. Time stopped at this moment. The chat group opened. Group leader Jiangnan, is Mr. Unichi here? Jigo Unichi, I'm here. Group leader. Group leader Jiangnan, I'll send you a student. Jigo Unichi, a newcomer? Naiu Sabaru, hello, teacher. Jigo Unichi, I read your story, and I know you need strength, and want to protect everything. Naiu Sabaru, teacher, I want to learn swordsmanship. Jigo Unichi, okay. Mingfei, Naiu Sabaru is indeed a bit miserable. I admit that your pain is greater than mine. Namikaze Minato, it's really too aggrieved. I have experienced so much pain, but I can't talk to anyone, and can only hold it in my heart. I even broke down countless times. It's too difficult. Saitama, why don't you practice with me? Mingfei, I became stronger, even though I was bald. Xiao Yan, sure enough, becoming stronger is the kingly way. Jingshan, right. Becoming stronger is the most powerful, but I have lived a very happy life. Elia, if you have any difficulties, the group leader brother will help you. The group leader brother is very powerful. Xiaoji, would you like to come to my place to play? I have an auction here recently, and you can meet the spider troop and others. Kyangri, my place is more troublesome. The demons have started to harass us recently. After a few victories, those guys are starting to get cocky. Xiao Yan, after all, not every superman can become a messenger of justice. Bibidang, it's a pity that I'm a little too busy here. I'm going to launch a plan to unify the entire Daolo continent in advance. The world will eventually unite after a long period of division, and will eventually divide after a long period of unity. If it weren't for that guy Tang-san, the Daolo continent would have been unified long ago. Kyujo Jotaro, he's a troublesome guy, but with your current strength, it shouldn't be difficult to kill him. Mingfei, he has the support of the god of slaughter behind him. It's not easy to deal with him. Bibidang, I will kill him sooner or later. Kyo Feng, sorry, Kyo can't leave here recently. My adoptive parents have been threatened by my biological father. Wuliuki, I didn't expect that I was like that before I lost my memory. I can vaguely remember the password of the big account, but I'm still me. Subaru Natsuki, teacher, I'll go over now. Dagu, so this is Tiga. Tony Stark, by the way, is there anyone who can save me? Subaru Natsuki, don't you know how to build a steel mecha? Mingfei, hey, how about I go over there? Anyone interested? Xiao Yan, I've been idle lately, I'll come. Mingfei, by the way, what level have you reached in your cultivation now? Xiao Yan, I'm not afraid to scare you to death if I tell you I'm at the peak of the key training stage. Mingfei, I'm about to break through the golden core. GGUOU and Yi, I'm already at the peak of the god transformation stage. Mingfei, group leader Xiao Yan, I'm going to, let's go and cause trouble together. Tony Stark, why do I have a bad feeling? Mingfei, don't worry, I'm a good person. Group leader Xiao Yan, ditto. Xiao Yan, ditto. Marvel World. Tony Stark looked at the battery on his chest and fell into deep thought. Because there were steel fragments in his body, he had to use this kind of thing to keep himself alive. At this moment, he was in a miserable state, covered in stains, and did not look like the playboy and super rich man before. Especially the scene he saw before he fell into a coma. He was beaten into this state by the weapons he sold, which made his thoughts fall into an extremely complicated situation. It was also from this moment that he had a dream of being a superhero. The space cracked, and 3 young boys walked out of it. There was also a middle-aged man with glasses in the dim cave. It was he who saved Tony Stark's life. Tony Stark looked at the polite middle-aged man in front of him, and his inner emotions were very complicated. He knew that this middle-aged man would sacrifice his life to help him in the future. It's so dark and humid. Xiao Yan looked around curiously and then saw a camera on the wall. Press it. It seems that we have been discovered. Xiao Yan also looked at the camera on the wall. It seems that the battle is about to begin. Mingfei was wearing casual clothes, and his hair was casually falling as usual, as long as it did not cover his vision. What are you afraid of? You won't die anyway. It's the last day, brothers. The monthly ticket will be gone if you don't use it. Please. Chapter 368. Who is the monster? Tony Stark was surprised to see the 3 people suddenly appearing in front of him. Although he had prepared in advance, he was still shocked to see these 3 people coming from the void. This should be our first meeting. I'm the group leader Xiao Yan. Mingfei also introduced himself and said, Mingfei, please give me your advice. Xiao Yan felt that the surroundings were a little dark, so a ball of fire appeared at the tip of his finger. Xiao Yan, I'm here to save you. With the appearance of the 3 people, the danger will come in less than 3 minutes. After hearing the dense footsteps, the middle-aged man immediately shouted a warning. Be careful, they are coming. It was just a group of scum, and the 3 people didn't take it seriously at all. Is it really okay? Tony Stark asked subconsciously. After all, some things are really hard to believe if you don't see them with your own eyes, and the faces of the 3 people are too confusing. They are all young boys of 17 or 18 years old. It is hard to imagine that such a powerless boy can compete with terrorists. As the door of the cave slowly opened, a group of mercenaries rushed in instantly. They were fully armed and holding submachine guns in their hands. The muzzles of the guns were pointed at everyone in the cave. The leading terrorist had a towel on his head and spoke with a very sharp look. Who are you? How did you get here? Even if there was surveillance, to see it with his own eyes, breaking the space was not something that human technology could do now. As you can see, Xiao Yan said with a smile. What's the waste of words? Shoot them to death. Xiao Yan twisted his neck, put his hands together, and pinched his fingers. This provocation was undoubtedly very strong. Terrorists were unreasonable people, so all the guns were immediately pointed at Xiao Yan. Shoot. The next second countless bullets shot at Xiao Yan. Word spirit, dustless land. Mingfei recited the dragon language softly, and the transparent dustless land field opened, completely isolating everything around it, forming an airtight wall. Countless bullets hovered in the air, densely packed. This scene shocked everyone. It was a power they had never seen before. I can't fall behind. Fireball technique. Big fireball technique. Xiao Yan formed seals with his hands to mobilize the spiritual power in his body. A small magic circle appeared with a ball of fire and then slowly rose into the air. The The fireball grew larger, becoming a fireball with a diameter of 1 meter. Then Xiao Yan threw the big fireball directly towards the place where the mercenaries were. This is not an ordinary flame, but a strange fire. The Azure Lotus Earth Core fire. Ordinary people will die if they touch it. The huge fireball exploded in the cave, forming an energy like a storm, and countless flames ran around everywhere. In such an environment, the power of the explosion was increased by a level. If it weren't for Mingfei's dustless land, it is estimated that no one in the cave would survive. Of course, this refers to ordinary people. In this way, the terrorists were burned to ashes. The door was also blown open. Step on it, move forward. Xiao Yan rushed forward, and the terrorists outside immediately took their positions after knowing that there was danger. Let's go, let's follow. Iron Man spoke to the middle-aged man next to him, and the two of them also entered the dustless realm. The flames were floating and spreading rapidly around. Xiao Yan made seals with his hands, and with a casual move, countless flames gathered in his hands. Fire rain spell. The spells used by Xiao Yan were the most basic spells in the key refining period. Countless flames were divided into raindrops and spread around. They passed through the cave and floated towards the mercenaries outside. These were the flames of the strange fire, and if they were contaminated, they would basically die. The mercenaries outside the cave were holding their weapons and looking at the cave in full battle array. But they didn't expect so many fire points to burst out of the cave. These fire points seemed to be able to track automatically and drill directly into the bodies of those terrorists. Then they ignited their bodies and burned them like firewood. It hurts. It's so hot. Put out the fire quickly. When everyone left the cave, they only saw countless burning figures rolling around. But the strange fire was not an ordinary flame and would not be extinguished. Monster. Everyone had such a thought in their hearts. Monster. Monster. In the end, the flames burned everything and then gradually disappeared. After seeing that there was no danger around, Mingfei also withdrew the dustless land. Okay, it's done. Xiao Yan, Mr. Tony, you are safe now. Tony looked at the dazzling sunlight above his head and the terrorists around him who turned into ashes. He felt that everything was so magical. Just like that. Otherwise, do you still expect these weaklings to fight us for 300 rounds? Xiao Yan scratched his ears and said impatiently. After all, the gap in strength is really too big. Xiao Yan, who is at the peak of key refining, can wipe out all these terrorists. Xiao Yan came here to play at this moment. Since there is a younger brother here, then the younger brother will take action, and he, as the boss, can just enjoy it. And Tony Stark is a super rich man. He will definitely treat them well when he returns. At that time, they will eat delicious food and drink spicy drinks. Tony Stark is still holding a poly battery in his hand. This thing is hanging on his life. Looming for his mental power spread outward and began to scan everything around. Boss, are you going to kill all the terrorists around? Terrorists stationed in other places have already come here. It doesn't matter. If you want to kill them, just kill them. If you don't want to kill them, just leave. Xiao Yan's attitude was quite casual. After all, they were just a group of ants. If you get impatient, just kill them all. There was no need to pay too much attention. When hundreds of terrorists arrived, everyone had disappeared. Only a red-hot iron block was left on the spot. Then the iron block exploded like a hot oil bomb, directly killing all the hundreds of terrorists around. This is the top use of the word Spirit Lord Flame. Heating an object to the extreme, and then releasing the domain and suddenly exploding. The scorching temperature will destroy everything around it, just like a missile. It doesn't matter how many can be killed. After all, it's just a casual attack. Inside the super villa where Stark lives, Secretary Pepper is having a headache about today's documents, and suddenly the space in front of her cracks. Who? Pepper immediately became alert. Then Tony Stark, with disheveled hair and dirty face, walked out slowly from inside, his eyes full of curiosity. Rip space, it's incredible. What kind of power can do this? Xiao Yan said from the back. Do you want to make an anti-group leader armor? Unfortunately, you can't do it now. The rest of the people also walked out of the space cracks one after another. It's the last day, brothers. If you don't use the monthly ticket, it will be gone. Please. Chapter 369, Rectification. When Pepper saw Tony Stark, she immediately ran over excitedly and hugged him directly, regardless of his dirty body. The 3 single dogs were fed with dog food when they saw this scene. Okay, stop showing off your affection. By the way, I'll help you fix that thing on your chest. Xiao Yan waved his hand lightly and injected a stream of vitality directly into Tony Stark's body. Tony Stark, who was still hugging Pepper, suddenly felt his body begin to ache and then twitched. Are you okay, Tony? Pepper's eyes were full of fear. Tony Stark lay on the ground and twitched constantly, and his body began to repair. Then some debris and shrapnel popped out of the wound, and the iron block welded to his chest was also being squeezed out little by little, and finally squeezed out completely. A few minutes later, all the injuries on Tony Stark's body were repaired. Tony Stark lay on the ground and panted, but he had never felt so relaxed. As if he felt something, he touched his chest. The big hole there had disappeared, and the repaired skin appeared, without even a scar. It's amazing, incredible, this is something that science cannot do. After Tony Stark got up from the ground, his eyes flashed as he looked at the 3 people. Thank you so much, and I, Tony, will entertain you well next. Then we have to see how the super rich entertain us. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Tony Stark is a super playboy. He can be said to be the cover model of almost every issue of magazines, and he will appear on his bed. However, the values of Xiao Yan and the other 2 are not as open as those in the West, and they all have people they like. They don't like to go out and mess around. Tony Stark gave each of the 3 people a black card and asked them to swipe it at will and buy whatever they see. He himself went to take a shower, shave, and tidy up his appearance first. Then he prepared to hold a press conference and then kill his uncle, who hired terrorists to kidnap him. Tony Stark is not a super kind man, and his uncle is always plotting against him. Tony Stark can't keep such a dangerous guy by his side. And another reason for holding a press conference is that he was kidnapped this time and fully realized that weapons will only bring war and will hit him. But these have little to do with Xiao Yan and the other 2. The people have been rescued, and the next step is crazy shopping and buying food. Mingfei usually doesn't have much money on him, and now he is a little shocked to get a black card. Then the 3 of them went directly to the most prosperous building in the city, eating, drinking, playing, and having fun. After playing for half a day, the 3 of them went to the internet cafe to play games. Then they played for an afternoon, and didn't go back until dark. After that, they continued to eat, drink, play, and play games in the internet cafe. It wasn't until 3 days later that the 3 of them went back. At this time, Tony Stark no longer looked disheveled and embarrassed before. The super rich man appeared again. The 3 of them walked out of the space crack talking and laughing. Have fun, everyone, Tony Stark said with a smile, and gradually he adapted to the sudden space crack. Mingfei yawned. He played all night again yesterday. His face was not washed yet and his hair was a little oily. I didn't expect the games in your world to be so fun, but I'll go back to sleep first. Tony Stark's smart butler Jarvis spoke at this time. Sir, these 3 people stayed up all night in the internet cafe for 3 days and 3 nights. Tony Stark felt speechless for a moment. I gave you a black card that can be used for unlimited card swiping, but you actually went to the internet cafe to play for 3 days and 3 nights. Are you kidding? You shouldn't go to a high-end club and click on all the young models. But it doesn't matter. Everyone has their own ambitions. During this time, Tony Stark also watched a series of movies in the Marvel world. Knowing all the crises in the future, these crises are constantly squeezing him to move forward. He couldn't accept the purple potato spirit's proposal to collect infinite gems and kill half of the people in the universe, and Loki invaded the Earth to open the space gate. They are all very dangerous things. He had to make the armor quickly, and he had to make a powerful armor. And there was the shield that was completely corroded by Hydra. Tony Stark suddenly felt that he should not be a superhero. It was too difficult. He also watched Civil War. The feeling was very complicated. He knew the cause of his parents' death. With a complicated and uneasy mood, Tony Stark began to make his own armor. And his uncle had been stripped of all his rights and property. Tony Stark finally softened his heart and let him go. A few days later, Tony Stark completed the drawings and designs of the first set of armor. On a new day, Mingfei yawned and came to the main hall of the villa. It was full of various high-tech items. In the past few days, Tony Stark finally created the prototype of the armor. Hey, Leolu. Tony Stark waved to Mingfei, who was wearing an unfinished armor, and even the lid was not closed. A lot of mechanical parts were running non-stop. Tony, what's wrong? The move you used in the cave last time can block bullets. It's super powerful. See if you can block my laser cannon. Tony Stark raised his right hand, which was equipped with a mechanical suit. There was a light on the palm of his hand. Mingfei nodded. Want to test the power? Okay. In an instant, the aura of Mingfei changed. From a decadent otaku to a high and mighty king. The golden pupils stared at Tony Stark coldly. Tony Stark lowered his head subconsciously. Dust-free land. The invisible transparent field enveloped Mingfei. Let's start, Mingfei said. Tony Stark nodded and stretched out his palm. Energy charge 10%. Bang. A wave of light instantly shot out from Tony Stark's hand, directly knocking him away. The recoil was a bit strong. Mingfei's dust-free land easily blocked the light wave that came over. After all, this was a Dragon King level dust-free land. Not bad, not bad. It's more powerful than ordinary guns. Tony Stark stood up from the ground and shook his hands. It looks like it needs some improvement. Tony Stark entered the scientific research state again. Mingfei waved his hand. Then keep going. I'll go to the internet cafe to play games first. It's the last day, brothers. If you don't use a monthly ticket, it will be gone. Please. Chapter 370. Mark I. Tony Stark looked at the first suit of armor he made. This is a silver white suit of armor, which has not been painted yet. The next step is to try it out. The first suit of armor is also called Mark I. Many functions have just been developed. Although Tony Stark has watched a series of Marvel movies, the movies do not mention the detailed process of making armor, so it can only be used as a reference. It is probably difficult to directly make the nano armor before his death in the movie. Tony Stark felt a headache when he thought that he would snap his fingers and kill himself in the future. And his daughter, he didn't expect his future to be quite happy. Marrying Pepper and forming a happy family. Time is too short, and happy time is still too little. Tony Stark looked at the silver armor in front of him and began to operate the computer input program. After setting everything up, Tony Stark stood on the platform, ready to let the robot help him put on the armor. Xiao Yan, Xiao Yan, and Mingfei sat on the sofa, holding soda in their hands, watching this scene. Most boys have a dream of mecha, wanting to drive a Gundam or wear a mecha. Tony Stark's mecha is really cool from the outside. Although Mingfei has the Emperor armor, there is no such thing as too many mechas. Tony Stark suppressed his excitement and watched the manipulators around him carrying a pile of parts to him. The manipulators first installed the mechanical device and then the shell according to the previously specified procedure. They started to build it up step by step until the last steel mask was put on his face. This is a silver white mecha, which has not been painted yet. The whole body is shining with a metallic luster, which looks very handsome. Not bad. Congratulations. Jiang Nan clapped his hands. Tony Stark looked at the data in front of him excitedly. Jarvis, how is everything? Everything is normal, sir. Select the program and take off. Light waves sprayed out from under Tony Stark's feet, and he floated in the air shakily. Then he flew directly to the gate, and the whole person flew out like a missile, and rushed into the sky. Ha 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 ha. Tony Stark laughed crazily, extremely excited, like a 300-pound child. Go out and have a look. Jiang Nan said. Xiao Yan, let's go. Mingfei and Xiao Yan are both immortal cultivators, and even immortal cultivators in the key refining stage have the ability to fly. Xiao Yan summoned a sword, then stepped on it, and flew into the air with Tony Stark. Mingfei was even more awesome, and directly built a flying boat, which was considered a good flying magic weapon. The flying boat was about 3 meters long, like the boats that ancient river fishermen often used to go out to sea. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yan could only shake his head helplessly. When he has time, he will also learn to refine weapons. It should be possible for him to become an alchemist and a cultivator. Jiangnan was much more casual and took a step directly and appeared in the air outside. It was just a simple teleportation and floating. Tony Stark flew quickly towards the sky, flying and flying until he reached the highest point. In the high altitude, oxygen gradually became scarce. Sir, ice at high altitudes can cause major accidents. It's okay, I installed a heating system. Tony Stark had seen his own movies and knew that he would almost die due to ice at high altitudes during his first test flight. A thin layer of ice just appeared on the surface of the mecha and then disappeared. Then more ice appeared. Mark I is a first generation product after all, and it has many shortcomings. Tony Stark flew higher and higher, and then as expected, an accident occurred. The temperature was getting lower and lower, which directly caused the mecha circuit to malfunction. With a burst of sparks and lightning, Tony Stark's Mark I short-circuited. It took off in the waves, and then fell to the ground. The light wave under Tony Stark's feet flashed twice, and then stopped. He began to fall in free fall. Then the next second he fell on Mingfei's flying boat. There is a protective magic circle engraved on the flying boat, which can isolate the surrounding abnormalities, even if it flies high. Mingfei stood at the bow and looked up at the full moon and the sky full of stars. Tony, I know you are very excited, but don't get excited yet. What if you accidentally kill yourself? Who will stop Thanos then? Tony Stark shook his body, and a thin layer of ice film fell off. It seems that the system needs to be updated. After all, it is the first generation of products, and it needs to be upgraded quickly. Xiao Yan came flying with a sword at this time, and there were still traces of flames surrounding him. The coldness of the high altitude could not erode his body at all. Then Xiao Yan also landed on Mingfei's flying boat. Jiangnan tore open the space and came here. Although the flying boat looks small, it can carry several people and fly continuously in the clouds. Although it is dark around, the dark clouds are shining under the moon. The flying boat is driving in the clouds, and everyone can clearly see this wonderful scene. Then a plane passed by. A little girl looked out of the window of the plane curiously. Then she saw the flying boat wandering in the clouds. Mom, look, there's someone there. The little girl pulled her mother's sleeve and asked her to look outside through the window. However, there was nothing outside, because at this time, the flying boat had already flown directly above the plane. After circling around, Mingfei slowly landed with everyone and returned to Tony Stark's villa. Tony Stark took off the Mark I with the help of the manipulator. Next, he had to make changes to the mecha. This test flight made him see many shortcomings and areas that needed to be strengthened. After returning home, Tony Stark saw the gift on the table, which read, "Gift from Pepper." This was the gift that Pepper had put here. After opening it, it turned out to be the electromagnetic device that Tony Stark had dropped before, and the connected battery had been removed. Is it a souvenir? It's pretty good. Tony Stark put the thing away. It was also this thing that saved his life. And the middle-aged man who helped him was also arranged a good job by Tony Stark, working here. That night, Tony Stark looked at the data on the computer and fell into deep thought. There is a problem with the shell pressurization, and the circuit board will be damaged after exceeding a certain height. Everything needs to be improved. And the ailerons were not opened when they were in danger. At the moment of the circuit short circuit, many systems stopped. Even Jarvis stopped working. So on this basis, Tony Stark started the transformation again. If you have extra monthly tickets during the double monthly ticket period, please vote. Chapter 371. Don't give up. Soon, the new Mark II was manufactured. Mark II was strengthened and modified on the basis of Mark I. The material used is a better pressure resistant material. Of course, if possible, Tony Stark wants to use vibranium, but vibranium is not available in Wakanda. He thought, if he could use vibranium to make a set of steel armor, would it be very powerful? A new day, Jiangnan watched the news broadcast on the big screen. Because Stark Industries stopped producing weapons, many people lost their jobs. The news host was scolding Tony Stark for being crazy and not making money. Because Tony Stark has been working on his own Mark armor these days, he has not appeared in many meetings, which makes many people think that he is shrinking. Tony Stark sighed. It seems that this playboy will attend various banquets again. At the banquet of the rich businessman, Xiao Yan sat in the corner and ate a lot, and then a kind old man came into his sight. Stanley, an old man who made crazy cameos in Marvel movies. He is also the creator of the Marvel Universe. He is in almost every story, and it can be said that he is in every hero's world. He plays all kinds of roles in the stories. Sometimes he is even an alien who shaves Thor's hair. Stanley's figure just flashed by and disappeared from this world. Xiao Yan didn't care too much, he was just an observer. Tony Stark was dancing slowly with Pepper in the middle of the hall. Tony Stark was thinking about when to propose to Pepper and start a family. After all, he also wanted that happy future, but when he thought of the purple potato spirit in the future, Tony Stark was overwhelmed. Doctor Strange stretched out a finger at the beginning. Then he went offline and let Captain Marvel beat him. After all, Captain Marvel could withstand it. As for Thor, Thor's blood was full of alcohol and fat at that time, and he probably couldn't withstand it. The banquet ended soon. But the story is not over yet. Just when Tony Stark was driving on the way home, a car suddenly hit him at the fork in the road. The speed was so fast that people couldn't react at all. After Tony Stark stopped producing weapons, it was obvious that he had touched someone's cake. In addition, if you don't cut the grass at the root, it will grow again in the spring breeze. The first time Tony Stark went out to attend a dance, he was attacked directly. Oh my god. Tony Stark only felt that the world was turned upside down, and then the whole car was knocked out. The car driven by the other party was obviously a modified car with a very good impact ability. After knocking over Tony Stark's sports car, the other party's car was almost not damaged. Tony Stark shook his head and felt dizzy. At this time, his car had turned over, and he survived by chance because of the seatbelt. The other party's car was a black SUV, which looked very domineering after being modified. The car door opened, and 4 big men with guns came over and pointed their guns at Tony Stark. Oh my god. Really, we just came out for a meal, but we were assassinated. A crisp voice sounded, and Xiao Yan walked out from the crack next to him. He patted the dust off his body, and then looked at the 4 strong men holding guns. The guns in the strong men's hands were all AK-47, which were of particularly high quality weapons on the battlefield. Freedom and beautiful sword, gun battles every day are not just for fun. This country is a country with a lot of guns. The 4 strong men saw Xiao Yan and turned the direction of the muzzle of the gun. 2 more people came out from the back of the car. They were looming for Xiao Yan. As expected, happiness turns to sorrow. I would not have eaten so much if I had known. Looming Fei touched his stomach. He felt like vomiting when the car rolled over just now. All the strong men felt incredible when they saw the 3 people who were unharmed. Their car was modified. If they were hit like this, the people inside would be seriously injured if they didn't die. But these 3 people didn't even look like their clothes were dirty. Xiao Yan stared coldly at the 4 strong men in front of him. A flame burned. The scorching heat instantly enveloped the whole scene. Shoot, shoot. The 4 strong men were about to shoot, but their guns were melted. Zizzy. A scent of meat came over, and the big men subconsciously dropped their guns, and their hands were already burned to pieces. Wanquin. Looming Fei raised his hand, and pressed down gently, and the 4 big men instantly knelt on the ground. The powerful force directly crushed their knees and spines. Their healthy lives had said goodbye to them at this moment. Xiao Yan flicked his finger lightly, and a few wisps of flames directly entered their bodies and began to burn their organs. The pain stimulated the bodies of the 4 big men. Xiao Yan stretched out his hand and waved it lightly, directly pulling out the souls of the 4 people. In an instant, countless memories flew around. This is exactly the method of the immortal cultivators, the soul-searching technique. As long as the information in the brain can be obtained through the soul-searching technique, it's just that this kind of power that hurts the soul is too evil. If it's not done well, it will turn people into mental retards. Xiao Yan took back the flames, and the 4 big men rolled their eyes and looked dazed. Their organs have begun to degenerate due to the burning. A useful piece of information appeared in front of everyone. It was a deal. It was Tony Stark's uncle who planned the attack. Can you save me first? Tony Stark's weak voice suddenly came at this time. Why are you still in there? Xiao Yan asked subconsciously. Tony Stark smiled bitterly. My body is just that of an ordinary person, just like you. Each one is a pervert. Mingfei relaxed his shoulders, came to the car door, and directly opened the car door with his hands to pull Tony Stark out. Tony Stark's head was dizzy. What's going on? Jiangnan gently tapped and transmitted that memory to Tony Stark's mind. Tony Stark was silent for a few seconds, then his face became very ugly and said, "Damn it, I obviously let him go." Jiangnan tore the space and connected to Tony Stark's villa. That guy is just a jumping clown. Let's go. Go back first. The siren sounded around. 4 big men knelt on the ground. When the police arrived, they only saw this scene. After returning home, Jiangnan used a healing spell to heal Tony Stark's wounds. Tony Stark looked at the Mark II that he had just assembled, and now he had a new idea. Although the Mark II was improved on the basis of the Mark I, it was not easy to carry. Just like the previous emergency, if it weren't for Jiangnan, the 3 of them would probably be dead. If you have extra monthly tickets during the double monthly ticket period, please vote. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 372, One Size Fits All. Tony Stark has not yet developed nano-carrying technology. He cannot use the nano armor by lightly pressing his chest like in the future. But he can design a portable armor. With new inspiration and new crises, Tony Stark began to continue to modify Mark II. Based on this research, he upgraded and transformed it to see if it can be transformed into a portable Mark armor. A new day is the same as usual. The news is broadcast on TV. Tony Stark watched the weapons he made on the battlefield being used to kill people. Whenever he saw this scene, he felt that he really deserved to die. Especially the new weapons he researched. A series of explosions almost destroyed a village. Tony Stark watched ordinary people in the war constantly asking for help, so he went directly to the battlefield wearing his Mark II. On the other side, in order not to be disturbed in the next few days, Jiangnan directly crossed the space and used a dimensional slash on Tony Stark's uncle, and the waist was cut off. His uncle has planned several plans to deal with Tony Stark, but he has not had time to implement them. It's really annoying. When Tony Stark came back, after dealing with the terrorists, he was targeted by the military. Then he was almost shot down as a UFO, but his good friend War Machine Rhodes helped him. Unfortunately, Rhodes was replaced by the Straws later. After playing for a few more days, Tony Stark publicly admitted that he was Iron Man at a press conference, and everyone felt that they had played enough and left one after another. Jiangnan returned to his daily world. A new day, the sun was shining. On the way out, Jiangnan met the King of Force version again. Still so cool. It's a pity that they were not in the same school. On the way to school, Jiangnan also met a very interesting girl. The girl's name was Kyangsu, who always went to some strange places. For example, today, Jiangnan stood at the intersection and looked up at the roof and then saw the bottom of a cute girl's skirt. This was not what he wanted to see, mainly because he had no choice. After all, this is the perspective of human beings. The girl lay under the eaves, kicking her feet up violently, as if she wanted to get to the roof. Jiangnan knew this cute girl, Chiksu Mitani, the protagonist of Chio's school route. Girl, your panties are showing. Jiangnan thought it would be better to give a proper reminder. After all, this kind of welfare can be given to one person. Mitani Chio suddenly stiffened. It was difficult to talk about being seen at such a shameful time, and the voice was obviously a boy of his age. At this moment, Mitani Chio's cheeks were red, and because of panic, her feet slipped unconsciously, and her whole body began to fall down. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Mitani Chio landed one foot on the telephone pole and the other foot under the eaves, forming a famous split scene. Good kung fu. Jiangnan praised subconsciously. Mitani Chio's face became even redder. Don't see my face. Don't see my face. Otherwise I can't live. Social death. This is a death that is no less than real death. Mitani Chio experienced social death at this moment. At this moment, she could only pray that the boy below didn't know him. However, some things are beyond human control. I remember you are Chio-sama. Jiang Nan's voice was not loud, but it was clearly transmitted to Mitani Chio's ears. It's over. My wonderful high school life is over. At this moment, Mitani Chio wanted to die, and her feet loosened directly because of the relaxation at this moment, causing her whole body to fall backwards. Let me die. Mitani Chio's eyes were filled with tears, her cheeks were red, and her whole body fell to the ground. At this most critical moment, Jiang Nan hugged Mitani Chio in a princess hug. Are you okay? Jiang Nan's voice was gentle, and his posture made him as dazzling as a prince from a fairy tale. However, the princess covered her face with her hands at this moment, muttering in her mouth. Can't see me, can't see me, can't see me. Chio-sama is wrong to deceive yourself. Jiang Nan's voice continued to sound. Mitani Chio could only put down her hands shyly and looked at the boy holding her. He was a handsome and cheerful sunny boy, but that cheerful smile seemed to have a hint of joy. Being seen in such an embarrassing way by such a handsome boy. It's over. I'm really going to be socially dead. Mitani Chio covered her face again. Jiang Nan gently put Mitani Chio down. By the way, why did you climb so high? It's dangerous. I'm sorry, I'm going to be late. So I had to go up to take a shortcut, but I didn't expect to encounter such a thing. Jiang Nan thought about his teacher Hiratsuka Shizuka. It shouldn't matter if he was late. Anyway, he often skipped classes. It's okay to be late once or twice occasionally. Jiang Nan said with a smile. Mitani Chio glanced at the handsome boy in front of her, then turned around and ran, so fast that even Jiang Nan didn't react. Jiang Nan shook his head helplessly, then walked towards the school. In an empty corner, Jiang Nan teleported and instantly appeared at the school gate. A new day, a new study begins again. After Jiang Nan sat down, he greeted Kato Megumi as usual. Good morning, hoo-hoo. Good morning. Kato Megumi greeted with a smile, and gradually Kato Megumi also liked to smile. Jiang Nan put away his school bag, and took out a few light novels. Look, this is the latest love metronome written by teacher Kasumi Shiko. It was just released recently, and I finally got it. As expected, teacher Kasumi Shiko is as stable as ever. Kato Megumi looked at the book handed over by Jiang Nan, and her eyes rarely fluctuated. Thank you. No need to say thank you, our relationship is super good. Kato Megumi nodded seriously. Jiang Nan, it's great to meet you. Of course, I'm also super happy to meet a girl as considerate as hoo-hoo. Jiang Nan seemed to have noticed nothing, and was about to take out the spicy strips. At this moment, a tall figure appeared beside Jiang Nan. Student Jiang Nan, class is about to start. It's not appropriate to eat spicy strips, right? Jiang Nan just turned his head, and saw the face of Shizuka Hiratsuka with a scary smile. Oh my, isn't this changing? Don't be angry, anger will give you wrinkles, and you won't be able to get married. You won't be able to get married. Hiratsuka Jing directly hit Jiang Nan with an iron fist of love. Familiar taste. Jiang Nan fell. If you have extra monthly tickets during the double monthly ticket period, please vote. Chapter 373, Food. Jiang Nan rubbed his head, and could only listen to the class seriously. After all, youth still needs to come slowly. Time passed quickly. It was noon. It was time to eat. Generally speaking, students would bring lunch boxes, or go to the school cafeteria to eat. But Jiang Nan was different. He chose to buy snacks. He took out the unopened spicy strips. Then he tore open the package. The unique aroma of spicy strips drifted out. Jing finally left, and it's time to eat. Jiang Nan smiled and prepared to eat spicy strips. Kato Hui tilted her head, and looked at this scene. Jiang Nan, are you eating this for lunch? Jiang Nan nodded. I'm an immortal, and I don't need to take in food. Eating is just to satisfy my appetite. Kato Hui ignored some of the language full of middle school element in Jiang Nan's words. I didn't bring a lunchbox today. How about we go to the cafeteria together? Jiang Nan was stunned, then handed over the spicy strips. Okay, how about a quick meal? Kato Hui stretched out her slender fingers, pinched 2 spicy strips, then lifted her long hair, and put the spicy strips into her mouth. Very spicy. After the two finished a bag of spicy strips, they packed up and went to the cafeteria. The school cafeteria has a lot of rich food, just like the big restaurants outside. As long as you spend money, you can buy a lot of delicious food. Generally speaking, the school cafeteria only provides convenience for students, and whether it is students or teachers, the price of eating here is relatively affordable. When I came to the cafeteria, it was mealtime, and the cafeteria was still quite lively. Jiangnan took a casual look and saw a lot of acquaintances. In the corner, Hikigaya Hachiman and Totsuka Reika sat together, eating the food in their hands. There was also a group of Zion-chan on the other side chatting and eating. Banana is delicious. An excited girl stood directly on the chair and roared excitedly, like a monkey. Her plate was full of bananas. The blonde angel and a handsome boy covered their faces helplessly. People around cast strange eyes. This is the stupid girl. Kato Megumi glanced around and pointed to a place. There was an empty seat in a corner not far away. It's good. It looks like we still have a seat. Yeah. So the two of them started to line up, and soon 2 meals were bought. They were 2 meat dishes and 2 vegetable dishes. Kato Megumi's food was very evenly matched. If a girl eats too much, she will gain weight. Kato Megumi is a girl after all, and she usually pays attention to her figure when eating. Jiangnan was just simply satisfying his appetite, and the energy of the food itself didn't really have much effect on him. After getting the meal, Kato Megumi and Jiangnan sat together in the empty seat they had seen before. It looks like we are really lucky. Well, then I'll start. The two began to eat the food in their plates. At this moment, a figure walked over. Do you mind if I sit here? After saying that, the man put the plate in his hand next to Jiangnan, and then sat down. Jiangnan frowned, then looked up. Then he saw the beautiful and mature face of Hiratsuka Shizuka. In an instant, Jiangnan's brows smoothed, and a happy smile appeared on his face. Sit down, Jingjing. What's the relationship between us? We are so familiar with each other. Why are you saying hello? Jingjing looked at Jiangnan, and then looked at the food in his rice plate. Do you usually eat so little? Adolescent boys are growing up. If you eat so little, you will be stunted. Don't worry, I'm an immortal. My body has been formed at this moment. I just eat to satisfy my appetite. Jingjing shook her head helplessly. She had known that Jiangnan's problem child was a bit immature. I'll start. Jingjing put her hands together, picked up the chopsticks and started eating. The food in Jingjing's rice plate was quite rich, with various meats and fried foods. The nutrition was relatively balanced, but if you eat too much, you will get fat. Jingjing, eating so much food will make you fat, and being fat will not look good, so let your students help you solve the problem a little. As the saying goes, if I don't go to hell, who will? Jiangnan stretched out the chopsticks in his hand. This was a very rude act, but it was obvious that Shizuka Hiratsuka had expected this, so she directly clamped Jiangnan's chopsticks with her chopsticks. You wish? This is the nutritious meal I carefully selected. Oh, I just want to help you. Jiangnan took back his chopsticks and pretended to be innocent. Shizuka Hiratsuka was very troubled by this scene. This guy was possessed by the spirit of drama again. Okay. Shizuka Hiratsuka picked up a cute octopus ball and put it in Jiangnan's rice plate. Is this okay? Thank you, Jingjing. Thank you so much. Kato Megumi looked at Jiangnan and thought for a while, then put a fried shrimp tail in the plate into Jiangnan's plate. Jiangnan, you can eat mine. Kato Megumi's expression was very serious, even on that indifferent face, it could still be seen. At this time, Shizuka Hiratsuka raised her hand knife and gently knocked Jiangnan's head. Kato, don't spoil him all the time. He just wants to play a little trick. Jiangnan covered his head subconsciously, and then said, don't hit your head randomly, it will make you stupid. If you become a little stupider, maybe it will be better. I don't understand how a guy like you who skips classes every day can always be the first in the grade. Are you not taking extra classes at home when you skip classes? How could it be? I'm obviously saving the world, okay? I just saved Iron Man last time. Jiangnan said very seriously. However, how could anyone believe such a thing? Yes, it seems that the test is coming soon. You have to be careful not to be surpassed by those guys. They have been trying their best to step on you hard. Jiangnan smiled lightly with disdain. The enemies who are defeated by me will never be regarded as opponents by me. I give them time to catch up until they are out of sight. When saying this, Jiangnan was extremely arrogant. The second year disease has struck again. Kato Megumi and Hiratsuka Shizuka have long been accustomed to it. However, it must be said that Jiangnan was indeed able to outperform the others in the exam. A girl in the distance looked around, as if she wanted to find a place to sit down. The plate in her hand was filled with various high-energy foods. Then she seemed to see someone familiar, and walked straight over. People will always subconsciously look for familiar people in an unfamiliar environment. This is the case with the girl. Chapter 374, 5 Sisters. The girl in school uniform had long red hair that fluttered in the wind. Her long hair had some natural curls. Her beautiful and delicate face looked a little nervous. The girl came over immediately after finding someone familiar. "Teacher, can I sit here?" The girl's voice was full of tenderness and respect. At this time, she was standing opposite Shizuka Hiratsuka. As a gentle and powerful teacher, Shizuka Hiratsuka was very popular among female students. It can even be said that many girls admired her. Shizuka Hiratsuka was very responsible as a teacher and did her best for every student. This made many students feel tenderness and warmth in front of her. If a problem child like Jiangnan was placed in front of an ordinary teacher, he would have given up long ago. But Shizuka Hiratsuka has not given up on Jiangnan until now. Shizuka Hiratsuka looked at the beautiful girl in front of her and said uncertainly, "Miku?" Haha. Jiangnan laughed unconsciously. The girl was not angry, but explained, "Teacher, I'm Nakano Satsuki." After that, Nakano Satsuki sat down and sat opposite Shizuka Hiratsuka, next to Kato Megumi. "Hello, Nakano-san." Kato Megumi's voice suddenly sounded, which scared Nakano Mayu. "Ah." Nakano Mayu turned her head suddenly and saw that there was someone sitting next to her. "Hello." Nakano Mayu subconsciously greeted her. Kato Megumi smiled and nodded. She was used to being ignored because of her weak presence. "I'm sorry that I didn't notice you just now." Nakano Mayu seemed to realize that she was not very polite, so she apologized quickly. Jiangnan watched this scene with a smile. Kato Megumi didn't care too much. "It's okay, Nakano-san." Kato Megumi showed a faint smile, and Nakano Mayu only felt that the girl in front of her was so gentle. "I'm very sorry, there was really no seat, so I sat here. I only noticed Mr. Hiratsuka at the time." Hiratsuka Shizuka nodded and said, "It's okay, just sit here and eat." Shizuka Hiratsuka motioned for Satsuki Nakano to be more relaxed. In fact, she felt quite embarrassed because she had just recognized the wrong person. But there was nothing she could do about it. The quintuplets looked too similar. Whether it was their figures or their looks, they were exactly the same, except for their slightly different hairstyles. Jiangnan glanced at Satsuki Nakano, the protagonist of the quintessential quintuplets, and the fifth of the quintuplets. In fact, the relationship between them was limited to having met a few times and saying hello a few times. Only then did Satsuki Nakano look seriously at the people sitting at the table, and then she noticed Jiangnan. "Hey, long time no see." Jiangnan smiled and said hello. "Long time no see." Satsuki Nakano also said hello. Satsuki Nakano only felt slightly familiar with Jiangnan, a classmate she had met a few times before. They were half acquaintances, but Satsuki Nakano was still quite familiar with Jiangnan's deeds. The top student in the grade all the year round, often skipping classes, the legendary super genius, the principal's relative, the student with a strong relationship, the bad student who skipped classes for half of the second year of high school, the student council president has to bow down to him. At this time, Shizuka Hiratsuka noticed the food on Satsuki Nakano's plate. "Satsuki, is it okay for you to eat so much?" Satsuki Nakano's cheeks instantly turned red. There were indeed a lot of things on her plate. In addition to basic pasta, there were various fried foods and high-calorie meat. And they were all not cheap. Even in the school cafeteria, it would cost a lot of money. Teacher, didn't you say that it's the time for puberty to grow up? It's okay to eat more, but what if you accidentally grow into a pair of A like Yukinoshita's classmates? Shizuka Hiratsuka gently raised her hand and then knocked on Jiangnan's little head with a knife. You are the one who talks too much. Woman. Jiangnan rubbed his head and laughed twice. Shizuka Hiratsuka was thinking about things while eating. Although the baseline test in a few days is not an important test, it is also the first test since the beginning of the school year. If you fail, you will have to take a makeup test. If the results are too bad, you may be held back. Holding back a grade is a shameful thing for many students. Shizuka Hiratsuka seemed to have thought of something and glanced at Satsuki Nakano. This particularly beautiful girl, who has the temperament of a young lady, has a fatal flaw. That is, she is a poor student. She is the opposite of the problem child next to her. Satsuki Nakano is very well behaved and a normal child, but for some reason, her study is so bad that she can get a 0 in the exam. The problem child sitting next to her can always sit in the first place in the whole grade, no matter how much he skips classes. By the way, May, how are you preparing for this baseline test? Shizuka Hiratsuka asked. Satsuki Nakano's hand holding the dish trembled slightly. For poor students, exams are nightmares. They can clearly understand every word on the test paper, but why are they so difficult to understand when combined together? Satsuki Nakano is the kind of person who can even guess wrong on multiple choice questions. Teacher Hiratsuka, can I say I'm not ready yet? Hiratsuka Shizuka seemed to have expected this, so she sighed. Have you ever thought about hiring a tutor or something? I remember that the grades of you 5 sisters are not that good. 5 super poor students. Maybe the 5 of them are destined to have no chance of learning. Hehe. Jiangnan laughed secretly. Hiratsuka Shizuka kicked Jiangnan lightly. Laugh, 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 just laugh. Be careful that your first place in the whole grade will be taken away by classmate Baiyan. Jiangnan shook his head, his face full of confidence. He is too young, but I'm the Emperor Jiang Xiandi who has been arbitrary for eternity. With my back to all living beings, they can only look up to my figure. Nakano Mayu looked at Jiangnan's proud look with envy in her eyes. It was the envy of the poor students for the top students. If possible, who wouldn't want to be a top student? Who doesn't want their grades to be at the top? But she really can't do it. The content of the teacher's lecture was like chanting a sutra to her, and she fell asleep while listening. And then there was nothing else. When she woke up again, the get out of class was over. The little knowledge that he had learned with great difficulty also slipped away from his mind during sleep. Damn it, I'm so unwilling. I'm really envious, but I'm not good at studying. Nakano Satsuki was very frustrated. Hiratsuka Shizuka seemed to have thought of something at this time, and then kicked Jiangnan. Jiangnan, I have a personal commission here. Chapter 375, Learning. Shizuka Hiratsuka smiled. Apparently she had a good idea. Jingjing, I have a bad feeling. And Jingjing, I'm done eating. Can I leave? Shizuka Hiratsuka just smiled and didn't get up. Jiangnan was sitting inside, just against the wall. If Shizuka Hiratsuka didn't leave, he would have blocked him inside. You don't have anything to do anyway, so why don't I assign you a task? Shizuka Hiratsuka said. Jiangnan is a problem child who is the focus of attention. It's better to keep this problem child busy, so that he won't have time to make trouble. Moreover, the existence of a genius like Jiangnan strongly denies the existence of those who study hard, or it can be said to be a blow. Shizuka Hiratsuka wants to give them a chance. As the saying goes, sharpening a spear before a battle will make it shine. Many academic masters are working overtime to compete for the first place or a high ranking. But Jiangnan, who is firmly in the first place, is still idle. He eats, sleeps, dazes, plays games, and reads novels every day. This behavior is simply a denial of those who work hard. But such geniuses exist in this world. People are unfair from birth. Jiangnan sighed and knew that he seemed to be treated as a laborer again. Tell me, Shizuka Hiratsuka, Satsuki Nakano is a student I teach, but she is not very good at studying. I hope you can tutor her a little bit. Just regard it as a commission from me as a teacher to you. I remember that there are no commissions in the service department recently. Teacher, I'm not the director. I have no right to accept other people's commissions. Shizuka Hiratsuka patted Jiangnan's shoulder and said, it doesn't matter. This is a personal commission. I only entrust it to you. Satsuki Nakano seemed to realize something and looked at Jiangnan with shining eyes. In fact, she also wanted Jiangnan to help her review her homework, but because of the legend in the school, she was embarrassed to ask for it. But since Shizuka Hiratsuka said so, Satsuki Nakano would naturally not miss this opportunity. Please help me, Satsuki Nakano said very pleadingly. Jiangnan felt a little overwhelmed for a moment. If he helped her review her homework, then he would probably have 10 minutes less time to play games. How about this? There is less than a week left before the exam. As long as you help Mayu review her lessons these days, I will treat you to a feast after the exam. Shizuka Hiratsuka made a direct invitation to gourmet food. In fact, she also wanted to teach Mayu Nakano well. But she is a teacher, and Mayu Nakano simply cannot listen to what the teacher says. So she can only find someone to tutor her. Jiangnan frowned and said with some intention, as long as I help her review, there will be a feast to eat. Shizuka Hiratsuka nodded with satisfaction. That's right, you know the teacher's character, I won't lie. Damn, verbal digging, one of my favorite things to do, is to say no to those who think they control me. Shizuka Hiratsuka's mouth twitched a little. You like to play tricks so much, right? Shizuka Hiratsuka raised her hands and then gently clasped them together in front of Jiangnan, making a creaking sound. Calm down, Jingjing. If you get hit by the iron fist of love right after dinner, you will vomit. Jiangnan is not a coward, he just follows his heart. Just tell me whether you agree to this commission or not. I agree, but who has to come with us for the dinner? Kato Megumi was slightly stunned. She didn't expect that she had something to do. Hiratsuka Shizuka glanced at Kato Megumi. Kato Megumi has always been an obedient and reassuring child. Of course there is no problem, but every time I think that Kato can become good friends with a guy like you, it's really hard to imagine. Jingjing, don't underestimate me. I'm a sunny and cheerful boy. Okay, since you agreed, I'll look forward to the baseline test in a week. Don't worry, although I look unreliable at ordinary times, I'm actually very powerful when I'm serious. Jiangnan showed a confident smile. Nakano Mayu looked at the unexpected situation and didn't react for a while. Hiratsuka Shizuka looked at the stunned Nakano Mayu. She showed a happy smile. May, although this guy doesn't look very good and is a serious problem child, his ability is obvious to all, and he speaks to people in a way that suits them, so you don't have to be too reserved when the time comes. What Shizuka Hiratsuka said sounded like a compliment, but it didn't seem like a compliment. Jiangnan thought it should be a compliment. Jingjing, I'll feel embarrassed if you praise me like this. A hash mark instantly appeared on Shizuka Hiratsuka's head. The meal was finally finished in such a special atmosphere. After putting the rice plate away, Jiangnan took out his mobile phone. Nakano-san, let's add an email address. Nakano May also took out his mobile phone. Okay, thank you, Jiangnan-san. Nakano May happily added Jiangnan's email address. With an email address, they can send messages to each other and contact each other if there is anything. By the way, Nakano-san, have you joined any clubs? Not yet. Jiangnan nodded, calculated the time and spoke. Then I will help you review your lessons during the club activities after school. Come to my club activity room. My room is big and quiet, which is very suitable for studying. Okay. Nakano Mayu nodded, and the two sides agreed on a time. Nakano Mayu was very happy today, and she even jumped when she walked. And she had a little idea in her mind, which was to give her sisters a big surprise. When the results came out, one of the 5 poor students suddenly took off on the spot and left all of them behind. It was very pleasant to sneak away. Nakano Mayu seemed to be able to imagine the expressions of her 4 poor students when they saw her results. Try hard, and you must review well during this time. Nakano Mayu cheered herself up. Jiangnan and Kato Hui walked out of the cafeteria side by side. Let's go hoo-hoo, we are going back too. By the way, why don't you come to review your lessons too? Anyway, teaching 1 is teaching, and teaching 2 is also teaching. Kato Hui thought about her grades, which were considered to be average. If I can improve, I will be very happy. Okay, then I'll work hard for you these days, Jiangnan. Leave it to me. Jiang Nan showed a Sunny Boy's unique smile. The two returned to their class. Time passed quickly, and it was soon time to go home. The students were packing up their things on their desks. Because the baseline test was about to come, many students chose to study overtime. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.